I'm Jessica Rosenthal. Our presidential candidates focused on the economy this week ahead of jobs numbers that could factor into a big interest rate shakeup this month.
It is the only thing we care about now is jobs day. So if the number on Friday confirms what we got the last jobs report, then that's sort of a big number.
And I'm Pastor Corey Brooks. I've got the final word on the Fox News Rundown.
The second presidential debate of the campaign is Tuesday night. It's the first with Vice President Harris and former President Trump. The debate in June went historically badly for President Biden.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Pressure for him to drop out of the race grew to where he finally felt he had to and endorse his vice president. They campaigned together in Pittsburgh Labor Day.
We fight for a future where all people receive dignity and respect and opportunity for not just for some, but for all. That's what we are fighting for.
And it'll be her on stage with former President Trump, who says at a Fox News town hall in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
You might give her the questions and give her the answers with the questions. I'm not sure it's going to help her.
The debate's host, ABC, says the ground rules are the same as the June debates. No notes or props, standing the entire time, 2-minute answers and rebuttals, and 1 minute allowed for any follow-ups. Also, muted microphones when it's not that candidate's turn to speak.
The interesting thing is there sounded like there's some chatter from the Harris side of this conversation that maybe there will be some crosstalk allowed, but the deal has been this fighting over keeping the mics muted.
Fox News Sunday and Living the Bream podcast host Shannon Bream.
The Trump team felt like that worked really well for him in debate one. The Trump team says, listen, he ended a 50-year career that night with President Biden, who clearly was not on his A game that night. But the Harris team is going to say she is a seasoned federal prosecutor. The fact is that, absent that Trump-Biden debate, these two have not really done the gauntlet since 2020. I mean, this would be really interesting to see if they're kind of rusty, either of them, with the president having, more recent practice at this.
Vice President Harris is doing, presumably quite a bit of prep. She's preparing in Pittsburgh. And I was wondering, well, why not just be home? Why spend more days on the road if you don't have to? And then it was pointed out to me, she just wants to get any spotlight she can in Pennsylvania. So now that, the press in Pittsburgh, and we'll talk about her because she's there.
I mean, that is a smart strategic move. I mean, that is a critical state that both sides believe they need to win to get to 270 to get to the White House. Keep in mind, too, you and I have covered a lot of this election stuff, and Pennsylvania is already warning us. It may take us days to figure out who our winner is here. So, if somebody's not to 270 relatively quickly, November 5th or 6th, I mean, we may be waiting around for Pennsylvania. And these candidates know it is critical. That's why they and their running mates are spending an inordinate amount of time there. And probably, you're right, why she's elected to set up camp there for debate prep.
We haven't spoken in about a month. We spoke then about Vice President Harris coming up in the polls since becoming the nominee. Where are we now, do you think, especially in those swing states? And secondarily, are there more states in play than maybe we had expected?
Well, she definitely has had the momentum based on her announcement, getting through the DNC. There's been a big shift across the board and in the swing states. But the fact is, nearly everything is still within the margin of error. The president has pulled away in a couple of interesting places like Arizona in one of the latest rounds of polling, but she's, increasing leads in places, according to whichever poll you're looking at, in key places like Wisconsin. So there's still maybe 8 to 10 states that we think are going to decide this for the rest of the country. You're welcome, rest of the country, because places like, California and New York, and at this point, Florida, and usually Texas, where those big prizes are going. It's really those handful of states where you're going to see these tickets, the running mates, constantly. I mean, they're doing multiple states a day, and we're really in the home stretch. I mean, voting starts this week, early voting in some states.
Oh, yeah. The first ballots, in fact, go out today, Friday, in North Carolina. A lot could happen in a couple months. I wonder how many voters, if any, when they mail ballots in this early, change their mind and wish they could take it back.
I feel like if you're sending your ballot back the day you get it, you're pretty much baked in with whichever candidate you favor.
Right. You were never going to change your mind if you vote that early.
Right. If you're voting that early, you already have made your decision. But for millions of Americans out there who don't parse this stuff and aren't dug into it like we are, that debate that's coming up next week may be the real reset for them. Kind of like, oh, okay, these are the two. This is the real ticket. This is the thing. I obviously hope there's more than one debate. I just think it's good for the American people and for the conversation. But the fact that we have ballots going out before the first debate, and these two, we're told, have never actually met in person.
Yeah, just real quick, going back to swing states and the map and all that. I like to play around with those map calculators.
Yes.
And I've seen other people do it too, like people who actually do this stuff for a living, polling and whatever. And most maps I've seen are really, 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 really close, and one state swings it. I saw one in particular by somebody who I actually think knows what they're talking about, just objectively, that has Harris just destroying Trump. But that was, again, that's an outlier. And most of them, like, you click, red, blue, and it flips back and forth.
And the thing is, almost nobody thinks it's going to be a blowout, but we've had polling all over the place and things have been much further apart than we thought they were. They've been much closer than we thought too. So polling is just kind of that snapshot in time. It really, at this point is about turnout. There are some people who are not comfortable with early voting, and that's been a Republican position in the past, like vote on election day, make sure you show up in person, your vote gets counted. And now you see the RNC and the Trump team really trying to persuade people, nope, if you can vote today, go do it today, bank it, get it done. So, I mean, you got to have enthusiasm, you got to have turnout, you got to have a ground game. The Trump team will argue that they have a much better ground game and logistics and early voting game than they've had in the past. The Harris team's just going to point at the polls and say, listen, she's glide pathing at this point. And that's going to really, I think the only thing that's going to press her into more interviews will be if they see that momentum shifting. I think that will be a point at which they say like, oh, maybe she's going to have to get out there and counteract some of this. But, a lot of folks say the Trump team, had a month or so to kind of craft who she was and define her for the American people. And in some ways didn't seem ready to do that when there was a switch on the ticket.
Yeah. As happens, people move to the middle, and Harris has been trying to look more pro-business, for example. Trump's trying to walk this tightrope on abortion. I mean, if those are your main issues, though, it's hard to imagine many people crossing over. If you're voting specifically on business or specifically on abortion, it's hard to imagine you're going to vote for the other candidate.
Yeah. And listen, we've always been told it's the economy, stupid. I mean, that's the thing that is a daily reality check for people when they buy groceries and gas and try to take care of their kids and pay rent or mortgages, or try to buy a house. So it's interesting that you do hear the vice president talking about this housing plan, which in most quarters was sort of panned like, okay, if you give some, first-time home buyers $25,000, then the price of every home goes up $25,000. There are all kinds of conversations how to make these things better. And so the economy has been really strong for President Trump. He's had a big lead on that. That has closed. So in some ways, the Harris-Walz ticket and the team has been very good at somehow separating her from the current economic distress that people are feeling. Our polling has showed for a long time they do blame Biden-Harris policies. They blame the Biden administration. But it sounds like she's been able to divert some of the blame off of herself without, laying it all on the president, but saying, hey, I've got additional other plans. We're moving in the right direction. This is how I'm going to fix it.
The Justice Department is accusing Russian state media, this thing RT, of spreading propaganda, including through American social media influencers. Oddly, Russian President Vladimir Putin saying, well, Russia favors Kamala Harris to win the election by the
because
by the
it
way.
makes her laugh.
Yeah, right. Which seems like maybe it was a backhanded compliment, but
like maybe there's some trolling going on there.
Exactly. So what's election interference and what's free speech? A lot of this stuff is just the same talking points that you'd hear on any mainstream conservative outlet.
If you're going to talk about flooding systems with bots and giving people misinformation about what a candidate's position is or what they would really vote for, what they've stood for, or, election procedures and kind of trying to throw people off of, what's legal and actually works and all those kinds of things. Listen, we've seen this. I mean, through Facebook, through Twitter, and now X, through TikTok. If you don't think that there's, mis and disinformation being flooded into the American market by TikTok via that channel, I mean, it's there. But the fact is, if we're saying it's been there for a long time, there's been a big debate about who that actually favors. And, with Putin out there now publicly saying like, oh, President Biden supporting Harris, so we support Harris. And by the way, her laugh is so joyful and fabulous. I mean, he's just sort of a world-class bad guy and troll at this point.
Yeah.
So, you also got to think about Iran allegedly hacking into the Trump campaign or, finding some way of access. It's like, I think that foreign actors probably want to create chaos more than anything else.
Let's talk about this Amazon Alexa thing for a minute. For people who don't know, in a nutshell, there are people asking the Amazon Alexa devices, these home devices, and on your phone too, why should I vote for Donald Trump? Well, the voice says, I can't talk about politics, really. And then in Harris, though, here's all these reasons that you should maybe vote for her. And
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a woman of color who has overcome numerous obstacles to become a leader in her field.
A lot of people aren't buying, okay, this was just a mistake. Amazon says it's changed, it's fixed. Now you're not going to get anything on either candidate. I have no idea how the programming works, but it's certainly more ammunition for bias claims.
Well, it is because what people, want to point out and talk about so often with these claims is why is the mistake always against conservatives and in favor of liberals or of one side of the ticket or the other? Because whenever people get shadow banned or their accounts frozen or gets taken down, or it's dinged or it's, put on probation or whatever it is, it seems like the majority of the time it is the error happening against conservatives. They're the ones who are getting muted and silenced and taken down. And this Alexa thing seems to support that theory that, when there are, quote, mistakes made or there are errors, that they don't seem to be made against the left side of the ticket. I'm sure it happens. And maybe conservatives are just better at highlighting what is happening to them. But it happens so often that it's hard for the average American to believe it's all completely by mistake.
Yeah, I've seen it suggested that this could simply be, some kid who is liberal who has the power to maybe tweak that stuff. If that's the case, then that's a different problem in and of itself. Yeah. Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday and the Livin' the Bream podcast. Shannon, good to talk to you as always.
Chris, thank you.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1 and newstalkstl.com.
Do these three words make you cringe? Calcium oxalate stones. If so, then this message will be a huge relief because now there's a kidney health supplement that has shown in laboratory tests to reduce the rate of calcium oxalate crystal growth by 99%. That's right, 99%. It's called Kidney Cop, Calcium Oxalate Protector, and nothing else comes close to its success. In fact, it has a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Kidney Cop is so innovative, it's been awarded 5 U.S. patents, is recommended by doctors and pharmacists, and is winning rave reviews from people all over the country. You can be one of them. Kidney Cop is super affordable. You can purchase affordable Kidney Cop today by visiting Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com. If you cringe when you hear the words calcium oxalate and you worry about reoccurrence, then you need Kidney Cop right away. Purchase Kidney Cop today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com.
These statements have not been reviewed by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sponsored by Calcium Oxalate Labs, Inc.
Folks, the unprecedented conviction of former President Donald Trump has thrown our nation into uncharted territory. Trust me, things are going to get worse before they get better. The political turmoil and uncertainty ahead could have severe consequences for our economy and financial markets. But in times of crisis, there is always opportunity. Right now, I see that opportunity in gold. As political tensions rise and the dollar's future becomes uncertain, gold has the potential to reach new heights. That's why I trust Advantage Gold. They are the experts in helping Americans safeguard their wealth with precious metals. Call them today at 800-900-8800 $8000 to get their free 2024 gold and silver kit, plus a special Jason Hansen discount with up to $1,300 if you qualify. While the future is certainly unpredictable, your financial security doesn't have to be. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 for your discount and bonus. Again, 800-900-8000. Performance may vary. Consult your financial and tax professional.
The Allman Report.
Hey, Friday, we delve into a little bit of astronomy and astrology. You know, the planets are aligned right now the same way they were right before the American and French Revolution.
Jamie Allman, weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding two-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
Dr. Randy Tobler here, and I know that when you're looking for a dentist, you have to make sure you choose a dental practice that's compatible with you and the needs of your family. Well, I'd like to tell you about my dentist, Dr. Dan Cusimano, and his partner, Megan Dwyer, and their team at Advanced Dentistry at St. Charles. The great team at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles can accommodate all of your cosmetic and restorative needs because their passion is general dentistry. Implants, crowns, bridges, even dentures. That what you need the most is what they'll provide in a personalized, focused way. And they can provide therapeutic and cosmetic options like Botox and dermal fillers. Get to know them and all they have to offer by calling 636-978-0226 or visit them on the web at advanceddentistrynow.com. That's Dr. Daniel Cusimano and Dr. Megan Dwyer at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles.
That's Advanced Dentistry Now, 636-978-0226. Or visit them on the web at advanceddentistrynow.com.
Tony Colombo here, reminding you to visit my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton before your next trip into the great outdoors. For decades, Bluff City Outdoors has covered all the needs for area fishermen, and they'll always have all the best bait, tackle, and gear for your next trip on the water. And now they cover all your bow hunting needs, including their state-of-the-art indoor archery range and techno hunt system, open every day for you to come shoot, or you can join a league. Follow Bluff City Outdoors on Facebook and learn more at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
It's a pretty simple concept.
It is clear to me.
Let me make this clear.
Big events.
Your news and your opinions.
We're going to get out there and be heard.
St. Louis's place to talk.
Our voices are never heard in the media. We, the people, will always find a way.
And it's about time that we start putting up or shutting up.
Yeah, and you should come. You should listen to many voices.
101.9 and 94.1.
Their phone lines have surely been burning up.
News Talk STL.
Eastern on Fox.
We're bringing the thunder to football. Fox Weather is storming the field with the risk of weather impact on the hottest NFL games this season. Listen to Storming the Field every Friday on FoxNewsPodcasts.com. You're listening to the Fox News Rundown. More coming up.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and NewsTalkSTL.com. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
We'll speak with Dr. Bonner Cohen on the green energy projects Biden is speeding up to get done. And at 5:20, Joel Pollack of Brightheart.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
How are the trees, shrubs, bushes, and all of your other valuable outdoor assets doing at your home or business? Tim Jones here to remind you that Hanson's Tree Service at hansonstree.com is your one-stop shop for all your tree care needs and so much more. From top-notch tree services to outstanding organic mulch, green resource recycling, grinding and land clearing, and more, let Hanson's team of expert insured arborists take care of your yard so it looks the best it can be as we head towards fall. Get a free quote, book an appointment today at hansonstree.com. That's hansonstree.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Hi, it's Chris Arps, and I've been a customer of Royal Banks of Missouri for many years. They are a full-service, locally owned and operated community bank with 17 locations throughout the St. Louis area, including locations in Hannibal, Jerseyville, Granite City, as well as 2 locations in St. Charles. Royal Banks offers Missouri a full range of financial services covering all of your personal and business banking needs, as well as access to over 200 ATM locations. Royal Banks Missouri also offers convenient interactive teller machines that will connect you with a banker virtually and in real time, available at all their branch locations, and those are open weekdays from 8 to 7 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. Plus, given today's headlines in the overall banking industry, it is reassuring to know Royal Banks Missouri has the highest financial ratings in St. Louis for stability and strength. That's Royal Banks Missouri, the community bank for your community. Visit them on the web at royalbanksofmo.com.
The O'Reilly Update, brought to you by Seavers JCB. Visit them at their St. Peter's location.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, if you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, listen up. Car Shield is a low-cost monthly vehicle protection plan now available to you. This protection plan is at an all-time low price. Please call 800-925-7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate today will also receive free roadside assistance and towing at no additional cost. That is 800-925-7584 right now. On this Friday, the election of 1980, very similar to this year's presidential slugfest. Jimmy Carter back then was a disaster in the White House for 4 years as the American economy slipped and our enemies overseas ran wild. Carter could not get the American hostages released in Iran, and the press actually mocked him for being weak. Nevertheless, the Democratic Party cranked up the propaganda saying old Jimmy was doing a great job, and his opponent, Ronald Reagan, was a Hollywood dunderhead. The voters knew Carter was awful, and Reagan won easily. But what a difference 44 years makes. In America today, many folks literally live in a fantasy world centered around their devices. Cyberspace is their reality. The world itself, not really relevant. Add to that an almost total disinterest in history, as well as fact-finding, and you have an environment where millions of American voters cast ballots in absolute intellectual darkness. They believe what they want to believe, even if they vote against their own self-interest. Now, Vice President Harris hasn't proven herself in any area. She's a machine politician who will do as she's told by her progressive handlers. She's not very confident discussing complex issues and may not even understand them. We don't know what she knows because she's kept away from any and all questioning. Back after this. Are you feeling the impact of the recent changes in the timeshare industry? My friends at Lone Star Transfer are the only company I trust to help you. For more than a decade, they have successfully helped over 20,000 owners get out of their timeshare with an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. Customer service is their priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We drop to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Missouri.
This message presented by the MSH-SAA and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
News Talk STL. Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. Having your first cup of coffee? Mike's on his third. This is Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Okay, this has been a heavy week. I mean, when it comes to the news cycle, we've had a lot of tragedy, a complete community devastated in Georgia, a country trying to grieve along with them. But then again, of course, politicians want to make hay out of the politics of it all. But we're heading into a weekend on this Flashback Friday. We're going to review that, review what happened with our buddy Paul Curtman here in just a little bit. But also, you know what? Try to take a breather here. Let's decompress so that we can focus on the things that truly are important. Hey, good morning. Happy Friday. Mike Ferguson here. Thanks for making News Talk STL part of your day. By the way, if you haven't already, go to newstalkstl.com and be sure to sign up to win your tickets to the Reagan movie screening 1 week from tomorrow at noon on Saturday the 14th. Love to have you join me and Stell and Gabe at the studio, or in the theater rather, not in the studio. You're welcome to come say hi in the studio here as well. But join us at the theater for a special News Talk STL screening. I can tell you we've had a lot of people enter, which is fantastic. So the earlier you enter, the more likely you are to win those tickets. We had Congressman Mike Bost on the program yesterday. And, of course, we asked him about his reaction to the tragedy in Georgia with the school shooting and the left's push to enact more gun control laws, and kind of made our way over to not just really the presidential campaign. I don't think it's fair to say that, but Kamala Harris's just insane sort of economic suggestions that she's making that she thinks we're supposed to get excited about, and get his take on that from the perspective in Congress. Here's what Mike Bost had to say.
I would be remiss if I did not ask you about your reaction to the tragedy in Georgia in the school. And we've had just predictably, but unfortunately, another push at the national level for more gun control laws. And they want to make it about violating the Second Amendment, when what we should be doing is focusing on how to help a community that's devastated right now.
Yeah, we should be praying for the families, but we have to focus on mental health. Why are these continuing to occur? We don't change our Constitution because of tragedies like this, but we do try to focus on how to help families and figure out what's going on. Also, we'll have to figure out a failure, because you've got to understand the FBI did a report on this guy a year before he did this. And I don't know how we finally stop the failures that continue to happen in our agencies. Well, thank you for the voters for giving me the opportunity, because that's what we're going to be focusing on, whether it is the Secret Service, or whether it is the FBI, or whether it is the people that failed when they shot the president. This is a case where we have a problem with our agencies not being the top quality agencies they used to be.
Good morning, Mike. Gabe Pfeiffer here. So, with the that tragedy, we also often look for these legislative solutions that really aren't there. These are larger cultural issues that need to be dealt with. But in terms of things like illegal immigration and the criminal consequences that come from that, there's definitely legislative and certainly executive action that can be taken right now to fix all of this. So what do we see on the horizon as it comes to dealing with America's border problem?
Well, let's look at it. Biden-Harris border crisis, everything that Trump was doing that was working, they changed. You know that all of you know, and I know most of my constituents know, I've been to the border twice, dealt with and talked to the people there and knowing what they're dealing with, also talking with and dealing with what's going on even in my district in rural southern Illinois, placements of migrants, placements of and costs that are rising, not counting the problems that are going on with drugs, fentanyl, human trafficking, the problems we have now with gangs from these countries that have come across. We do not know what is there as far as the amount of terrorists that have come across. We try to guess, but you shouldn't have to guess. The reality is we need to go back and build a wall, build a border, a secure border. If you don't like the political term, building a wall. But apparently now Kamala Harris has decided that she wants to build a wall. I'm not sure where she's at on anything, but the reality is we can implement those things that were in place when Trump left office, knowing and sending a clear message to Mexico, you will enforce the Remain in Mexico policies exactly the way they're supposed to be through the World Trade Organizations and everything like that on the rules of all this, of world engagement. Also, like I said, secure the border and make sure we invest in our border agents and we stop the catch and release policy. All of these things send a clear message to those who would be trying to come into our border, sneak across our border, also to our enemies who are using the border, border crossings to infiltrate the land. And so, it is a policy thing. We know it was working before when Trump left.
We talk about the border issues. One of the things I'm convinced, Congressman, we're visiting with Congressman Mike Bost, is the confusion that the media and many on the far left are trying to inject into this. They're saying, but gosh darn it, Congressman, there was a bipartisan border bill. It was the toughest ever. And you darn Republicans stopped it when you could have had a solution.
I love that statement because here's what I want to ask all your listeners. Why in the world do you think it's a border bill that will work if it doesn't even kick in until 5,000 costs a day? Think about that. That's what was in the bill. And it also, it truly is a path to citizenship for people who are coming here illegally. And I'm going to tell you, if the first thing you do is disobey our laws when we're supposed to be a nation of laws, that is not the bill that we needed. And there's no long-term cure in that bill.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a border bill that literally, like you said, literally encourages and assumes 5,000 illegal immigrants a day by law, I guess that is a border bill, but it's not the border bill that we're looking for.
Exactly. You can put a title on something, but if it doesn't do because all of us believe that when we say we're going to work on a border bill, we're going to secure our border. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean we don't want people here coming legally. We're a country of immigrants. We just are. And that's fantastic. And it works. And it's beautiful. If you've ever been to when groups that have went through their naturalization process and they're taking their oath to become an American citizen, how happy those are. Hey, I want people to do that. I do, but I don't want them to violate the laws of this land when the first thing that they do, because that means they don't want to be part of this process.
Now, on top of the crime and drugs and human trafficking and all the other issues that come out of immigration, we also have a major economic impact with a lot of communities having to absorb a lot of these people. They're taxing our social services. They're getting free hotel rooms in some places and debit cards and cell phones and they're sending their kids to our schools and everything. So and on top of this, the Kamala Harris and Walz ticket want to implement some of the worst economic policies I've ever seen committed to paper and spoken out loud, outside of Soviet Russia.
Yeah. Now, I just want to point out, Congressman, that I try to do these interviews very objectively. So I want to objectively ask you to respond to their complete insanity of policy, but I'm asking that objectively.
Well, let's look at their policy. We have 40-year high inflation. We have record high gas prices. The supply chains are screwed up. This has all happened in the last 3 to 4 years. You look at her proposal. One of the key parts of her proposal is a capital gains tax. Now we all know capital gains tax and the problems and the concerns. It stifles small business growth, large business growth. But then the capital gains tax is also, which is really wild, is on uncollected gains. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have an investment, and that investment actually gains money. Okay. You don't tax that until you pull that investment out. No. She wants you to be taxed, even though the market might fall tomorrow and you lose all of it. So think about that, and think about what that's going to do to if you know the investment market and you know why people do what they do. And I want to let you know that when you make those investments, that's putting people to work, that's investing in new jobs, everything like that. She's talking about this tax credit for small business. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I heard it so good yesterday when somebody described it. She's handing you a $50,000 tax credit to start small business with her right hand, but kicking you square in the hind end with her right foot. I just don't see how this continues to. Her policies, her and Biden, and I'm going to tell you, when you start talking about their proposal for vice president, I know him well. Look, I served on the VA committee with him. Okay. And when the first time he was introduced to me, he was introduced as Sergeant Major. Now I come to find out that, he's not a Sergeant Major. But anyway, so their policies, everything that she's proposing, it's like she's grabbing at straws because she doesn't have policies. And if she thinks she had good policies, why haven't they been implemented? Because she's already been there.
Yeah, Congress, I was actually about to ask you about the proposal she laid out this week, saying she wanted to increase the tax credit to start a small business up to $50,000. Now, if that were in a silo, that's something that I think some Republicans, would offer as well. That in and of itself is not necessarily, not a bad thing itself. But when you look at the high tax rates and everything, I think you put it really well. It's basically shuffling the tax burden from one side to the other. I mean, who's going to invest in the business if you're going to get penalized on investing for it?
But isn't that exactly what communism is? Is start taking from others and let government decide where it is they're going to put that money, and they can decide winners and losers, and you can work your tail off to grow a business, and all of a sudden they take your tax dollars and give it to somebody else to compete against you in your business.
Let me make a comment here, Mike, because I know how you feel about this. And let's be honest, Kamala has no clue regarding business and economics, and very few on her staff have any experience in the business sector. So this is what we're getting now. We're getting, as usual, professional politicians who seem to think that they know how to run businesses, and it's going to kill small businesses even more than what we've suffered through since the pandemic happened.
Yeah, and one thing she said this week that was amazing to me, and I want some, but nobody gives her a follow-up question. She said that we want to stop overburdensome regulation. Just ask her, okay, which regulation? You see, because there has to be meat on the bone. And I can list several regulations that have strangled small business. I don't think she can. Because she talks at a 36,000 foot level just to seem like she studied what it is that she needs to be studying if she's asking to be to the leader of the free world. And it happens on every subject, not just the economy.
All right, Congressman Mike Bost out of Illinois, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being
thank you.
On the program again, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Look forward to it.
All right, the first morning news dump of the day comes your way here in just a couple minutes right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL right here on this Flashback Friday.
For podcast articles and more, find us on newstalkstl.com.
She will collect you with the carnal stare.
Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
She evaluates your heart's condition. She's in no hurry, but she makes good time. She'll sabotage your mind, transforms your taste and clouds your.
This is what's happening.
This is what strength looks like.
A nightmare for Harris is to defend her policy choices.
The country needs a very smart person.
101.9 and 94.1.
All you're going to get out of Kamala Harris is joy and vibes.
News Talk STL.
Seavers JCB is where you need to go for the industry's best compact track loaders, featuring the iconic single-arm JCB power boom and side door entry. JCB compact track loaders are stronger and safer than conventional twin-arm machines, and they deliver the power and performance you need. For a limited time, get financing rates as low as 0.99% on new JCB compact track loaders, or take a generous cash incentive. Stop into your local Seavers JCB or visit seaversjcb.com.
Dreaming of upgrading your outdoor space? STL Fenceworks is the choice for you. Our skilled craftsmen build custom fences from modern vinyl to classic ornamental, fitting your style and budget. Elevate your outdoor living with low-maintenance decks designed to relax and entertain. We choose only top-quality American-made materials, ensuring your project is built to last. Your satisfaction is our passion. With over 50 years of experience, custom designs, and exceptional customer service, visit stlfenceworks.com today.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Bost as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on News Talk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Bost is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
The 80s.
Bueller.
The 80s.
Let's go while we're young.
Never been a decade like it.
Shall we play a game?
Never will be.
Where are the beat?
It's Flashback Friday.
That's a good start to Flashback Friday.
Welcome to Flashback Friday.
There we go.
And a phone number for you in case you want to call. 867-5309.
That's right. I read somewhere that in some area codes, people were actually paying extra to get that number.
Oh, no kidding.
At one point.
Actually asked for the number.
Actually wanted that number.
Oh, you're looking for trouble.
Lots. I have no idea why you would want that number. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's see here. Big news out of Georgia. The shooter is not the only one in jail. Police say his father is also to blame for the Georgia high school shooting. I want to get your thoughts on that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here. Pro-abortion activist in Missouri get a favorable ruling from a judge when it comes to Amendment 3. This does not surprise me, but we'll talk about what that means as far as trying to defeat this horrible amendment. And if the guy at the convention in Illinois has dry skin or greasy hair, blame Democrats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you why here in a minute. Let's dump some news on you.
The Morning News Dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks.
The Morning News Dump.
All right. A second arrest has been made in connection to the high school shooting in Georgia that happened this week. Chris Hosey is the director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. And he tells us that the shooters, well, the technically suspected shooters, but the shooter's father, Colin Gray, is now also in custody as facing charges with multiple counts of involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, and cruelty to children.
These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
Okay, so we're going to go into more depth on this at 6:20 or so. Colt Gray is the 14-year-old suspect in the case. He is being held in jail as well. 4 people were killed. 9 others were injured. And on Friday, well, today, actually, Colt Gray is expected to make his first appearance in court. Officials say they are going to charge him as an adult. All right, a Cole County judge strikes down the ballot language of Amendment 3 in Missouri, replacing it with language that, frankly, is friendlier to the pro-abortion effort. Judge Cotton Walker ruled that the language from Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft's office was, in his words, unfair, inaccurate, insufficient, and misleading. The reality is that the language did tell the truth about Amendment 3, but what voters will now see on the ballot is this, and I'm just going to read you what you're going to see. A yes vote establishes a constitutional right to make decisions about reproductive health care, including abortion and contraceptives, with any governmental interference of that right presumed invalid, removes Missouri's ban on abortion, allows regulation of reproductive health care to improve maintain the health of the patient, requires the government not to discriminate in government programs, funding, and other activities against persons providing or obtaining reproductive health care, and allows abortion to be restricted or banned after fetal viability, except to protect the life or health of the woman. A no vote will continue the statutory prohibition of abortion in Missouri. At 8:05, Steve Rupp, the president of Missouri Right to Life, is going to be with us, so we're going to go through that line by line. The bottom line is there are things in there that I just read that are simply not true.
That'll be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, this is a big help to the pro-abortion campaign in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. Some other news here. In a surprise move, Hunter Biden decides to plead guilty to all 9 counts in his federal tax case in Los Angeles. Yeah, he's skipping the trial, moving ahead to sentencing in December. His attorney, Abby Lowell, says the president's son made the decision to, and I'm quoting here, protect those he loves from unnecessary hurt and cruel humiliation.
This plea prevents that kind of show trial that would have not provided all the facts or served any real point in justice.
All right, Hunter Biden, and here's the news copy says he plans to appeal, but I don't know how you can appeal if you pled guilty. We're going to talk to Susie Moore from RedState.com about that at 6:35. He faces up to 17 years behind bars, which he will not get. I don't think he's going to do a single day behind bars. He's also scheduled to be sentenced in November after being convicted in his gun case. In that case, he faces up to 25 years. And once again, he's not going to do any time behind bars. That just is not going to happen. All right, let's see here. Pressure mounting from the U.S. and others on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a ceasefire and hostage release deal with Hamas. He claims, meaning the prime minister claims, Israel is not the one blocking the deals. He actually was on Fox and Friends.
There's a story, a narrative out there that there's a deal out there. In fact, while we agreed in July and in May and July and in August to a deal and to an American proposal, Hamas has consistently said no to every one of them. They don't agree to anything.
Yeah, okay. So now remember, over the past weekend, the IDF found the bodies of 6 hostages who were executed in a tunnel underneath Rafah, which is specifically where the United States told Israel, we don't want you to go, stay out of Rafah. So they caved to that pressure, or at least they hesitated, and 6 people, including 1 American citizen, were killed. Among those, 23-year-old Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Poland in there. So I think the lesson is Benjamin Netanyahu should just stop listening to the United States, just keep getting the equipment and getting the weapons they need to defend themselves and kill the terrorist, and just stop listening to the United States.
I think that would be the best solution.
Yep. All right. The state of Illinois is protecting you from little shampoo bottles in hotel rooms. Yeah. A new law is going to go into effect that outlaws hotels from providing that little single-use bottles of shampoo and conditioner and skin lotion and mouthwash and other things like that. The Small Plastic Bottle Act, that's really what it's called, restricts hotels with 50 rooms or more in July of 2025. Smaller hotels have to give up the courtesy to their customers in 2026.
Let's see if there's a black market formed
really
of little bottles online.
So if you're at that big hotel and you're at the convention and there's a guy who's got flakes in his hair, you can blame JB Pritzker. All right, the Cardinals start a series at home with the Mariners tonight. First pitch is at 7:15, but let's be real here, everybody. 22 games to go in the season. Cardinals are 71-69. They are in third place. They are 10 games behind the Brewers, in the division. So really what this basically means is that it would take a baseball miracle for them to make it to the postseason. It just ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
They are not mathematically eliminated at this point, but there is essentially very little to zero chance the Cardinals are going to the playoffs.
They'd have to sneak in as a playoff wild card.
Right.
Attention movie buffs and history fans. News Talk STL has your chance to win one for the Gipper. That's right, we're giving away tickets to see Reagan, the new biopic starring Dennis Quaid as our 40th president. You'll join us Saturday, September 14th at noon at B&B Theaters, Creve Coeur, West Olive 10. Don't miss this presidential opportunity. Log on to newstalkstl.com now and enter to win. News Talk STL, your ticket to presidential entertainment.
Dive into adventure with Great American Divers. We're your local veteran-owned scuba center offering PADI certification courses, equipment repairs, and dive travel opportunities. From beginners to experts, we got you covered. Kids can join our SEAL Team classes, and we even host pool parties. Our experienced staff is passionate about teaching, and we're the only center in the area with our own indoor heated pool. Great American Divers on Central School Road in St. Charles. Visit greatamericandivers.com. Great American Divers, where adventure runs deep.
My friend, death is certain. Are you prepared? Larry Connors here. I don't want to scare you, but your funeral plans are an important conversation you need to have with your spouse, family, other loved ones. My friend Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial can help find you an affordable final expense life insurance policy, regardless of your health condition. You could qualify up to $30,000 of lifetime coverage. Life insurance plans with Senior Memorial also offer living benefits towards hearing and diabetic supplies, access to a 24-hour teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones. Call my friend Benjamin at Senior Memorial and discover your legacy at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
KLGY HD3 Clay, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The father of 14-year-old Colt Gray, the teen charged in the deadly school shooting in Winder, Georgia, has been arrested.
Prosecutors charging Colin Gray, 54 years old, with 4 counts of manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. His son, Colt Gray, charged with murder. Turns out the 14-year-old received the AR-15 style rifle from his father as a Christmas gift just 7 months after making online threats. Laura Winters, Atlanta.
Colt Gray expected to make his first court appearance later today. Former President Trump has pleaded not guilty to revised federal charges stemming from alleged attempts to interfere with the outcome of the 2020 presidential election. If you want to rev up the economy, tax cuts are the way to go, so says former President Trump. He's outlined a multifaceted plan aimed at boosting the economy should he win the White House.
The 5th pillar of my plan is to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. They are massive tax cuts, biggest ever, permanent. And to cut taxes even more.
Mr. Trump addressing the Economic Club of New York. He's proposing creation of a commission on government spending chaired by Elon Musk. It would audit federal spending and review federal regulations. Hunter Biden due for sentencing in December after entering a surprise guilty plea on federal tax evasion charges, accused of trying to avoid paying around $1.5 million in taxes to Uncle Sam. President Biden insists that he will not pardon Hunter or commute his son's sentence. A fire that raced through a school dorm in Kenya has killed at least 17 students, more than a dozen others seriously burned. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures down 141 points. NASDAQ futures off 215. More on these stories at townhall.com.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Do you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We drop to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. With the average funeral bill being over $9,000, are your loved ones prepared? Call 314-866-8886 or memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
For over 50 years, Di Gregorio's Italian Market has been serving up a taste of Italy right here in St. Louis. Family owned and operated, nestled in the heart of the hill. From homemade sausage and meatballs to spadini, pizzas, pastas, and sauces, our wide variety of Italian specialties will transport your taste buds straight to Rome. For a truly authentic Italian shopping experience, visit your friends at Di Gregorio's. Shop local, shop Di Gregorio's Italian Market, where every bite tells a story.
Attention St. Louis. The Republican Central Committee invites you to the annual Lincoln Reagan Days dinner. Join us Saturday, October 5th at the River City Casino for an evening of inspiration and insight with this year's special keynote speaker, J.J. Carell, retired U.S. Border Patrol, who served under Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden. Don't miss this opportunity to hear from a true expert in border security. For details and tickets, visit newstalkstl.com.
Be in the know.
He's not fit to be president.
Be part of the conversation.
You're riding with Biden.
That will shape our nation's future.
We are united behind Donald Trump.
I'm not going anywhere.
America Decides 2024.
Right here on News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson.
Are you pretending to be crazy?
Gabe Pfeiffer.
There's something serious I have to tell you about the future.
Get up! Get up! Can't you hear the alarm? Get up, St. Louis.
Hey, will you guys knock it off?
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up! Get up! This is your cousin.
It's Friday!
All right, a big tax credit to help your small business. That's what's being promoted by Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. But a massive tax penalty if you profit, and God forbid, try to pass that down to your kids as an inheritance.
So a net negative.
Let's talk about Kamala-nomics.
Tommynomics.
There you go, Tommynomics. And then, the debate's coming up on Tuesday between...
it's sneaking up on us.
I know. It's here.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah, let's get there. All right, just ahead here. All right, 314-912-1019. Really want to know what you think. I know it's early. I know it's Friday. 6:06 right now, by the way. But in Georgia, the teenage monster isn't the only one facing charges connected with the murders at the high school. By the way, Colt Gray is going to be appearing in court at 7:30 our time-ish in Georgia for the first appearance in court. But his father has also been arrested. I'm going to tell you why. Want to get your thoughts on this. I'm actually inclined to think this is the right decision to charge the father in connection with what his son did, but I'll tell you why around 6:20 here. like I said, to 606 right now. That conversation we had with Chris Dorr yesterday from American Firearms Association.
Yes.
We posted that up on the podcast. So if you haven't already subscribed, please go do that, because he covered a lot of ground, not just on the left's, sprint to exploit this for more gun control laws around the country. Matter of fact, even President Biden, at a speech he was making, he actually had this to say in response to what happened in Georgia.
As a nation, we cannot continue to accept the carnage of gun violence. I'm a gun owner. I believe strongly in the amendment. We need more than thoughts and prayers. Some of my Republican friends in Congress just finally have to say enough is enough. We have to do something.
Yeah, well, that's the exploitation, of the crimes, and it just defies all logic. But check out that conversation with Chris Dorr, and I would send that to your friends and colleagues and post it on your social media to keep that discussion as balanced as we can.
Let me give you what I think is a simple solution to the whole thing, and Democrats won't like it. How about taking some of the multi-millions of dollars, yay, billions of dollars that we're sending everywhere else around the world? How about investing in our schools with that money and improving the security systems at all the schools? I think it would easily take care of probably all the schools in the entire country. Get security forces set up in the schools. Let that be some protection for the kids. That's my thought.
And, even now it's amazing how, like, for instance, you guys know the theologian N.T. Wright. Yeah.
Yes.
He's now pro-gun control.
Oh, really?
Doesn't understand how Americans can say we're pro-life, but we still want to allow people to have guns. So screw you, N.T. Wright.
Yeah. We're done. Okay.
I just shut up.
You know what? Stay in your lane.
Shut. I say this with all due Christian brethren respect. Shut the F up, N.T. Wright. Screw you.
Don't just stay in the lane. Go take the exit ramp.
Yeah, and the exit ramp. Stay on your side of the pond and stick to theology, a-hole.
Yeah, we were
all right.
There were lots of prayers, and as we were kicking England across the ocean. So
yeah,
I'm just saying.
Precisely. All right. Okay. So maybe the only thing more confusing than a Kamala Harris word salad is a Kamala Harris economic policy salad.
Yes. That's a good way of describing communomics.
Right. So it was earlier this week. She announced that she wanted to expand the tax credit from $5,000 to $50,000 for those who open a small business. Okay. So I think almost probably every Republican would say, yeah, I'm good with that.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm fine with that. That's great. You want to provide that, that sort of cushion for somebody to take the risk and open up a small business. $5,000 really isn't that much.
No, it's not.
But $50,000 could make a difference. So that's great. That's fine.
Okay.
But then again, you couple that with all of the other stuff, the unrealized taxes on gains. I mean, and this kind of hit home because my mom is moving and she's got an offer on her house, which I suspect they're going to tell me today that she's taking, or they offered and she counter offered, and they're really not that far apart. But over the last 9 or 10 years since she and my dad bought that house, of course, my dad died years ago. But they basically doubled the value of the house just through the typical real estate values going up.
That would count as a capital gain.
Right. An unrealized
capital gain.
Which would mean that if Kamala Harris's policies were in effect, that my mom would have been taxed to the point that she would not be able to afford to move to be closer to my brother in New Hampshire.
Right. Because that gain was over time.
Right.
And according to the I think the communomics tax policy, this would be a yearly
right
tax on that gain.
Yeah.
So you gain a little, you get taxed on it. You gain a little more, you get taxed on it. So that doubling or the doubling of the value would not, it's not actually doubling the value.
And part of the reason that the home value went up is because it's in an area that is specifically for those 55 and over. And she and my dad invested in some improvements to make the home more amenable to the people who would live there. For instance, getting rid of a bathtub where you have to step over, and having a very nice remodeling of a small bathroom so that you could just walk in. Well, if you are of that age and you're living in a retirement area, that's likely going to be a big deal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And new air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. So they invested in that home, and that's one of the reasons it went up. And of course, Governor Tim Walz again going after the big corporate greedy people and talking about price gouging. Here's part of what he said.
Talking about price gouging at the grocery store. Look, I know something about this. I come from farm country. Our farmers aren't getting rich right now. They're getting $3.90 for corn. Somebody in the middle is, and those folks need to stop price gouging us. That's simple.
Talking about somebody who knows nothing about economics.
Okay, so you're suggesting that all of our grocery prices, the problem is just the middlemen decided to jump up and do things. It has nothing to do with the increased cost of fuel and all of the other things that go into producing the foods, which raise the prices for the growers. And then the seller or the middlemen who actually have to transport it, their prices have gone up because of wage increases and cost of gas and cost of living and all these other things that have gone up. And then of course when it gets to the grocery store, the grocery store has no costs whatsoever, right? They don't have to have compliance costs or fuel or labor or taxes or any of the other things that are affected by government. No, of course they don't have any cost to deal with. So
they're making money hand over fist.
They're making hand over fist.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
1.4%.
I was going to say with that 1 point something percent margin of profit that they get.
Exactly. So,
which means that like if 1 out of every 100 items on their shelf gets damaged or spoiled, they've wiped out some of their profit for that particular
Well,
product.
do the math, Gabe, because you're the good math guy. If you have $10 million in sales and you're only making 1.4%, what is that? $10,000?
Well, it's
that you're making on $10 million in sales?
$100K, I think.
$100K. Okay.
Yeah. But that's
nothing.
That's before all the expenses.
That's right.
Yeah. That's
so. But this is demonizing the risk taker.
Yeah.
Demonizing the one who gets in the arena and produces and provides a product or a service. And so the price gouging aspect of this is just total nonsense.
It's price gauging, Mike.
Yeah, that's right. That's what Kamala was calling it at the beginning.
Now, speaking of that, she and Trump squaring off in the debate on Tuesday. First debate on Tuesday. What are you guys expecting? I mean, I personally am expecting a very highbrow, tempered discussion that focuses entirely on the issues of public policy. I don't know what you guys are expecting.
Political slap fight between cartoon characters.
Yeah,
that's what I'm expecting.
And if there's an audience, plenty of annoying clapping that I can't stand, slows everything down.
Is 2024 in the campaign season not just the absolute most ridiculous, worst soap opera plot ever written?
I've said this a couple times, but this isn't the worst timeline, but it's not a good one.
Right.
I was like, I keep thinking we got to jump in our DeLorean and go back and change something. Biff got the almanac, and he's been screwing around with the timeline. It's like, come on, there's something we need to fix.
Oh my goodness. So that's going to happen Tuesday. I suspect it will have a lot of people. I think the ratings for it are probably going to be really good on television and on streaming numbers. I think there's going to be a lot of people really interested in this. The pressure to me is probably on Kamala Harris more so than on Donald Trump. Everybody knows what you're going to get with Donald Trump.
Well, he's actually been in front of microphones now, every day for a good long while.
Whether you like Donald Trump or don't like Donald Trump, you know what you're going to get with Donald Trump. What it's going to come down to is, will Kamala Harris be able to handle the pressure that she's going to be put on through Donald Trump's debating?
Have we resolved the mic controversy yet?
Yeah, they're not muting the mics.
They're not muting the mics. Okay, so they acquiesce to the okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm still talking, by the way. I'm still talking.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm
still talking.
I am entirely sure that she's going to lean heavily on trying to get that soundbite of don't interrupt me, and there's and then of course the propaganda wing of the Democratic Party, which is the entirety of media, are going to say, look at this strong woman standing up to this bully. That's going to be the primary headlines that we're going to see the day after.
How about this? Do these debates actually change a lot of votes? Does this actually move the needle? Or is it more about just getting the gotcha soundbite?
At the general level, I can't think that it actually moves the needle, But then again, there are still people who say that they are undecided.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the mindset.
I'm if anything, they may be undecided as to whether to show up and bother to vote or not.
That makes
But
the most sense.
Are there
to
a
me.
lot of people who haven't decided between Trump and Harris?
The polls say say that
maybe.
there are a good number,
Yeah.
and that they're the ones who are going to turn the election. But I've never even understood. I've never understood that. Even when the parties were closer in their ideologies.
Yeah. All right. 314-912-1019. All right. Just ahead here. There's been another arrest in connection with the Georgia school shooting. The father of the shooter, he's been arrested. He's being charged with crimes related to what his son did. Is that fair? Is that justice? I actually am inclined to say, yeah, I think he should be charged. Do you agree? You disagree? Let's talk about it at 620 here on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL.
I'm still talking.
All at once depart, no destination, making cold my heart to fight your war. Stop it right now.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL.
I see your indifference.
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Oh, hey. You wanna do that? Get up, and can't you hear the alarm? Get up, this is your cousin. Get up.
Tim Jones here. I'm with Eric from Newsteaders, Newsteaders Fine Jewelers. Eric, Newsteaders has been around since 1961. Tell us the story.
Well, Richard started this 62 years ago, and we've stayed a local family-owned store since then. We've actually got 3 generations of Newsteaders working in the store. Richard, his wife, his daughter, and his granddaughter, and we all love what we do. We're kind of a St. Louis family tradition, and we do a lot of unique and one-of-a-kind custom pieces, as well as repairs. There's basically nothing that we can't do, and all of our work is done on site, so you can feel secure knowing that your jewelry never leaves, which is unusual now. And we can computer generate images of custom pieces if you want to go custom. We can take that old jewelry that you're not wearing, and we can turn that into something new that you absolutely love.
Newsteaders, a St. Louis jewelry tradition since 1961. Stop by and find out why. 2961 Daughtery Ferry Road, or on the internet, wowdiamonds.com for Newsteaders Fine Jewelers.
Join the crowd at the iconic Turkish Pavilion and meet State Treasurer Vivek Malik. The Republican Party City of St. Louis is excited to invite you to our Get Out the Vote picnic, Sunday, September 8th at noon. Have free barbecue, beer, and be part of a fun group photo with the folks working hard for the future of Missouri and the city of St. Louis. Let's show up. Chow down and get out the vote, St. Louis. Head to stlcitygop.com for details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC, Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
In the fast-paced world of digital marketing, making connections is a challenge for any business. But what if we told you there's a place where connections aren't just made, they're grown? Meet 2060 Digital, your premier Google partner and top-tier digital agency. We don't just follow trends, we set them. At 2060 Digital, we're not just another agency, we're your strategic partner. We dive deep into your challenges and develop solutions that drive measurable outcomes. Ready to elevate your digital presence with campaigns that connect? Google 2060 Digital today.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. The 80s. Excellent. Never been a decade like it. Never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
This was a surprising request.
No kidding.
You know, the
Wow.
band's Ambrosia, and
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm always thinking 1970s for Ambrosia.
Yeah.
And this came out in 1980, and they were more of a jazz, prog rock, rock band. They got a lot of album rock radio airplay, and they did have some hits, but I don't normally think of them as an 80s band.
Right.
And then when this request came in, I thought, I better look this up just to make sure. 1980, it snuck in.
Wow. Yeah, that first start, I'm like, whoa, is that who I think it is? Man, deep cut on that one. This is going to be an interesting day of music, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 6:21 right now. All right, he did not pull the trigger, but police say he was also responsible for the murders in the school shooting in Georgia. 314-912-1019. The monster's father is also behind bars. And I know that there's somebody like, hey, yeah, it was a terrible crime, but it's a kid. Ease up. No, I'm not easing up on it.
Oh, no.
By the way, guess who was back in court? Hunter.
Oh,
Hunter
yeah.
Biden.
Yeah.
He both admits that he done it but still says he's a victim. We're going to try to explain all this at 6:35.
Yeah, I did it, but y'all are mean.
That's right. 6:35. Susie Moore from Red State's going to try to make sense of this for us.
Yes, please.
All right.
Legal Eagle.
6:21. All right. Here's what's going on. Is in addition to Colt Gray, who's the 14-year-old student who the Georgia high school, Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia. Of course, he's been arrested. He's in jail. He's going to make his court appearance in about an hour and 10 minutes. But his father has also been arrested. Colin Gray has also been arrested. So here's the reason for this.
Because this is fascinating. It's
Right.
relatively unprecedented, right? For the school shooters. I know they get a lot of flack in the media, but I've never seen one arrested.
I've never heard of that in a situation like this. But we were just talking earlier this week in St. Louis. There was the tragedy of a 4-year-old girl who was killed, and we said, wait a minute, should the mom be held responsible because she recklessly left the gun to where a child could find it?
Yeah.
But here's what's happened is we know now, we knew this earlier this week, that Colt Gray made threats of a school shooting, very specific. Didn't say where and when, but basically made threats that I want to do it or I'm going to do it, to the point where it caught the attention of local and federal law enforcement, and he was questioned. And the locals say we didn't have enough of a ground to make an arrest, but we questioned him. We knew that he had made these threats. So that was earlier in the year. That was like in May or so.
Okay.
This past holiday season, police say Colin Gray bought his son a gun, the one used in the murders, the semi-auto, and gave it to him as a gift.
Okay. See, and there it is. That is all the reason I need.
Yeah.
To justify the state coming in and putting that guy in some cuffs. My goodness.
Yeah. So 54-year-old Colin Gray has been charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. The Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith is quoted as saying, a young person brought a gun into a school and committed an evil act, and he took lives and injured many other people, not only physically, but mentally, which is absolutely true. And then Georgia Bureau of Investigations Director Chris Hosey, who we're going to have a soundbite from in our news dump, says these charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son Colt to possess a weapon. There is nothing anti-Second Amendment about saying you are responsible for what you do with the gun. I'm trying to get into somebody's head who says, boy, my son was making these threats. The police have been here. Okay, he didn't get picked up. It didn't get, but I think maybe a good idea is let me get him a hunting rifle or whatever, whatever type of weapon that it was. And I don't know. The media keeps saying AR style, which means absolutely nothing. It's a stupid.
Yeah, they don't even.
It's a semi-auto.
They don't understand guns.
No,
so,
it's a semi-auto. But in this particular case, there might be, I don't know, maybe there might be somebody who says, I just have to defend gun ownership at every step of the way, or the right to gun ownership. We also need to be saying we're going to hold ourselves to the standard of responsibility. And assuming all of this is true, and it appears to be, the father contributed to the murder of those 2 students and those 2 teachers by handing his 14-year-old son a gun after the son said he wanted to shoot up a school.
Yeah, there's no question that this was reckless. It was negligent.
By the way, Lynette's on Rumble pointed out I was wrong. There wasn't the case. There were the parents arrested in Michigan for a school shooting there. That's right. Thank you, Lynette. That's right. I forgot about that one. So yes, that has.
It's rare though.
But it did happen before, so it's not unprecedented.
But there was that other unique aspect you brought up yesterday, Gabe, about the fact that the shooter is alive.
Yes, we're gonna get trials. I mean, we're gonna hear from the prosecutors about why what was going on, not just with this kid now, but now with his dad. So we're gonna learn some stuff, I think, with this particular case.
Yeah, in May, law enforcement questioned Colt Gray and his father about online threats to commit a school shooting that included photos of guns, and also included, let's see here, Colt Gray, who was 13 at the time, told investigators during the interview that someone is accusing him of threatening to shoot up a school, stating that he would never say such a thing, even in a joking manner. Authorities could not substantiate the threats, and the investigation was closed. So basically, they said, we've heard about the threats. He says, nope, I didn't do it. They say, well, I just don't have enough evidence here to pick him up. So other schools received threats. Appalachia High School received a phone threat on Wednesday as well. We don't know where that came from. We don't know who put the call in. And so they don't think anybody other school is being targeted at this point. But essentially, even if the dad says, well, I believe my kid, he didn't do it. You still,
man, I'm not buying you a gun.
Right. I'm not going to go buy you a gun.
No, my goodness. And this kind of goes back to, we were discussing, with that, the mother and the child, the accidental firearm death here in St. Louis. And one of the principles we kind of outlined there was the idea that if you are a responsible gun owner, you make sure that you keep guns, especially your personal firearms, out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them.
Right.
Now, we didn't just say, people who, like kids, you keep them out of the hands of kids. We're saying people who shouldn't have them,
right?
Period. And I think this goes into that category. There's no way somebody investigated by the FBI for making, there's no way his dad didn't know that his son was troubled.
Right.
There's no possible way. Even if it was just about self-harm, there's no reason, there's no logical, a good faith reason to think that it would be a smart idea for a dad to buy his son a firearm if he's that troubled.
Right. Precisely. So I have absolutely no issue with the father being charged. And I don't have any issue with them throwing the book at the father with the charges, because they didn't water down this to send a message.
Right.
They are looking to put him behind bars.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like, if this turns out, the prosecutors prove their case and this turns out to be true, then you have a situation where somebody contributed negligently, as in he should have known. He did know.
Yeah.
And chose to add to the danger. And that resulted in people losing their lives and other people getting hurt. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know what you go through somebody's head on this.
Yeah. Now here's the question that will remain then. What's the level? Well, how much does a parent need to know to know not to do this? You know what I mean? Because there are some parents who were surprised by their kid.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, my son went out and killed a bunch of people. That makes no sense. I don't understand it. I don't believe it. But here it is in front of me, and I'm beside myself. We've seen plenty of those situations. But then we have this situation where he's investigated by the FBI.
Right.
So what's in the middle? Like, is there a situation in the middle where it's a little iffy? It's like, I know my son was bullied at school, but I didn't think he'd do this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and in the meantime, though, you decide to go buy a semi-auto and give it to your teenager.
For him.
Literally give it to him for the holidays.
Yeah.
314-912-1019. All right, Hunter Biden back in court, and I got to tell you, he's pled guilty, but I'm kind of confused by some of the stuff going on around this.
Oh yeah, I heard that everybody in the courtroom essentially was surprised at the guilty plea. It's like, weren't expecting this.
But I've also got some news copy that says he plans to appeal, which I don't know how you could do that if you plead guilty.
I don't understand.
Hopefully, Susie Moore from RedState can explain this to us around 6:34 here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
I'll try and explain the reasons why. Cause I've been thinking about the things that you said late last night, when every true word I said just didn't come out right, and you were so afraid that I found someone new. But darling, well, there's no need for what we're going through, because you and I been in love too long to worry about tomorrow. Here's a place where we both belong. I know you're the only woman that I'm dreaming of.
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
The only woman that I really love.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We dropped to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
Maybe you've heard the Fed is going to lower the interest rates. How will that affect you selling your home? Let me give you my best advice. Here's my very best advice. You call Jen and Rodney Wallner. Jen and Rodney Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Let them sit down with you and discuss what you think you want to do and how and the timing. The Wallner team has flexible commission plans to meet your needs. They have so many approved home buyers, they can guarantee you an offer. In fact, they sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. So they have no long-term commitment, no long obligation. You're not happy? Simply change your mind. You let Jen and Rodney know. But it begins by you calling the Wallner Home Selling Team, 314-810-SOLD. Jen and Rodney Wallner, 314-810-SOLD.
September is hopping in Mount Vernon, Illinois. Every weekend, enjoy festivals and events, including Market Day season finale, third Saturdays in Mount Vernon Flea Market and Vendor Fair, concerts at the Granada Theater, special events at C.E. Brem Memorial Library, Rev Up at Mount Vernon Fall Fest, Cedarhurst Ironclad Art Motorcycle Show, and so much more. Celebrate creativity redefined all month long in Mount Vernon, Illinois. Learn more at enjoymountvernon.com. Brought to you in part by Mount Vernon Tourism and Enjoy Illinois.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding two-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
Danny Define here, host of the all-new show, The Next Gen, with me, Danny Define. We're going to cover all the hard-hitting topics on this show, from national headlines to things happening right here in St. Louis.
Next Gen with Danny Define, Sunday nights at 8.
Right here on News Talk STL.
The 80s.
Bueller. The 80s.
Let's go while we're young.
Never been a decade like it.
Shall we play a game?
Never will be.
Where are the dates?
It's Flashback Friday.
Pure energy.
There we go.
Yep.
Pure energy.
Information Society.
That's right.
You know, I think this band, if I remember correctly, is from Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Oh, okay.
Because I think the first time I heard them, I thought they were British or something like that because they have that feel to them.
That new wavy feel, yeah.
Yeah. And I looked them up. I remember when the request came in, because I think this was Monday or Tuesday when somebody sent this in as a request. And thank you very much.
Yeah.
And from Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is a city with a good local music scene, besides Prince. I mean,
I was going to say there was a guy named Prince from there. He was pretty good.
Some guy. You know, plenty of clubs up there and local venues. So this was a band that came out of that local scene.
Interesting. All right. Guess who's back? Back again. Hunter's back.
I see what you did there.
Tell a friend. By the way, we've got the special News Talk STL Reagan movie screening coming up a week from tomorrow, September 14th. There are a lot of people who are entering to win tickets. We're going to give away tickets to join us for the screening. We're going to fill up the whole darn studio noon on September 14th. We'd love to have you there. So go to newstalkstl.com. Just click on the image there of Dennis Quaid as Ronald Reagan and register to win your tickets. Best of luck. The earlier you get your registration in, the better chance you've got. All right, joining us right now is Susie Moore from RedState, who I suspect is dancing to the Information Society music right there, even though it's 6:36 in the morning here. Hey, Susie, I hope you can clear up some of this stuff for me on this Hunter Biden stuff, because it's a little weird to me.
I can try, but I must tell you I wasn't dancing because, no, the caffeine hasn't hit in yet.
Okay. More sips. We're going to play it again
Yep.
at the end of the segment here. Okay, so Hunter Biden first goes and offers to enter an Alford plea, which basically says, I don't want to say I'm guilty, but I admit that you got enough evidence to bury me. And the prosecutors, as I understand it, said, nope, we're not accepting that deal. If you're guilty, you're guilty. Say you're guilty. But I've got some news copy here, and maybe it's just poorly written news copy that says that he plans to appeal part of this. How do you appeal if you pled guilty?
So that is a really good question, and it's something that has me very puzzled. Abby Lowell made that comment after the everything went down at the courthouse yesterday, which, by the way, my managing editor was there in person at the court to get us all the information firsthand. So if people want to read more on it, can check us out at RedState. But yes, Abby Lowell referenced an appeal. And generally speaking, you don't have an appeal from a guilty plea because you're voluntarily entering the guilty plea. You're accepting it. I mean, the only exception would be if you later say, oh, I had ineffective assistance of counsel, or I was duped into making this, pleading guilty, that sort of thing. But we don't have that here. So I am genuinely puzzled by that. He still has an appeal to take potentially from the Delaware conviction, but that has nothing to do with the California case. So that, I wish I had a better answer for that. I don't know if Lowell was just speaking loosely and didn't even think about what he was saying, or if there's some weird mechanism they're hoping to employ. I know they thought they were being super duper tricky with their Alford plea offer yesterday morning. But it's a little bit puzzling.
Good morning, Susie. Gabe here. So my understanding is that this was a surprise to almost everybody in the courtroom, that no one was expecting a guilty plea to come through. So aren't guilty pleas usually used to make deals before getting to this point? So what could possibly be the strategy here?
Yes. Again, very good question. And something that I've observed over the past few months regarding Hunter Biden and his legal team is that they do weird things. They do things that I wouldn't have done as an attorney. They push the envelope with the court and tick off the judge, those sorts of things. If he thought that he needed to spare his family the embarrassment of putting them through the second trial after going through the first one, he had 3 months to do that. And why they decided on the morning that trial was starting, yesterday was when jury selection was starting, why they decided that was the time to try and do this, I don't know. My only speculation is that they waited to see how the judge was going to rule on some of the pretrial motions, on some of the evidence that was going to come in. And those rulings came down last week. Because I don't want to go off on a tangent, but when I was trying cases on civil cases, a lot of times they settled on the courthouse steps because you get right up to the moment of trial and you realize things aren't necessarily going to go your way. The jury that ends up getting seated doesn't necessarily look like they're going to be favorable, or the judge makes some rulings and you decide, well, okay, the jig is up. We're going to go ahead and make a deal. But, his stated reason for making the decision was to spare his family. Well, you could have spared his family 3 months ago.
Right.
So none of it really makes sense.
Yeah, and one of the other aspects of this is, we'll see he faces up to 17 years in prison, whatever. I'll be shocked if he spends a single day in prison. I mean, as much as we would love to say that this is just a matter of criminality and the tax code and violating it, the fact of the matter is politics are weighing heavily on the thing, and nobody can really take that away. It's like whether it's a Biden or a Trump or anybody else, the politics of it are absolutely real. So at this point, he goes on to a sentencing. Is there negotiations that are happening with the sentencing? Or if, like Gabe said, this deal kind of came out, or this plea came out of nowhere, did they likely make some kind of deal on that? Or at this point, is there just another round of negotiations? Because I'll be shocked if Hunter Biden even sees a handcuff, much less a jail cell.
Well, I agree with you there. And that may have changed a little bit after Joe decided not to run for re-election, which was in July, because at that point it wasn't as much of a political liability for him if he turns around and changes it up and says, oh, I'm going to pardon him after all. I still think that they would probably wait till after the election just because it will reflect badly on both him and Kamala Harris. But Yeah, I don't think if they wanted to make a deal, the time to do that was ahead of time, not springing it on the prosecutors, because the last thing the prosecutors want to do now is make a deal. I mean, they prepared this case for trial. They've been working their butts off on this case for months and had it ready to go. And then to have the defendant come in and first try to do, oh, well, I'm not going to say I'm guilty, but we'll just go ahead and finish this off, which they could object to or not object to. It's not their decision to make. It's the court's decision to make. As far as negotiating a deal on the sentencing, I mean, his attorneys can broach that with the DOJ as far as what they'll recommend, but what's their incentive to recommend anything but the maximum?
Hey, good morning, Susie. It's Del here. A side question, because some folks asked me about this, including Kathy when I got home last night. Is there not that opportunity there to be pardoned by his father? But Joe is saying, no, he won't do that. So that's confusing also.
Well, Joe said he wasn't dropping out of the race until the second that he dropped out of the race. Politicians say they are or aren't doing something until the moment when they don't or do. I mean, it's just that's the way it works. So I would take Joe's vow that he's not going to commute or pardon, with a grain of salt. And people change their minds, even if he meant it when he said it, So no, I wouldn't put much stock in that at all. I think the conventional wisdom is there is no way that Hunter Biden ever ends up seeing the inside of a jail cell, whether it's because Biden pardons him or Harris pardons him or they've worked out a deal with Trump to pardon him. Who knows? I mean, but no, he's not. He will not see the inside of a jail cell.
Now, Susie, just go back just for a second. What are the various trials? Because I think there are at least two. Is that correct? In two different states that Hunter's dealing with, or is there more? Am I missing something? Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's two. The Delaware case. So originally, it was all going to be wrapped up in a nice neat little bow around it last year, and it was going to wrap everything into one thing in Delaware, and they were just going to kind of push it all under the rug. And
that's why I'm confused.
The judge in Delaware was like, "This doesn't seem right. What's going on with this?" So there were two separate sets of issues. The Delaware stuff had to do with the gun charges, the illegal purchase of and possession of a firearm, and the lying on the forms for that. That was tried in June, and he was found guilty on that. And then the California case yesterday all had to do with his tax evasion, and covered years, from roughly to 2016 to 2019. There were other years that were involved, but they let the statute run on that because they thought they were going to work out this little deal. So yeah, two separate things. And the interesting thing too is that Hunter basically blames his failure to pay taxes on his addiction, except for he was supposedly sober as of like the fall of 2019. And some of the decisions made with regard to those taxes came well after that. So that's, a load of hooey too.
Right. Exactly. Goat Lady on Rumble says, I think the Hunter case went sideways because if they had gone to trial, the trial may have gone beyond Joe's term and therefore possibly taking a pardon off the table. That's an interesting theory.
No. The case was only going to last 2 weeks.
Ah, okay. There it is.
No.
All right. All right, Susie, a lot of coverage on RedState.com on this. Like you said, you all were actually in the courtroom, so this isn't a matter of, grabbing together other stories and surmising them. You actually were there getting a firsthand account.
That's exactly right.
All right, Susie, with RedState.com, good talk to you, and thanks so much, and get some of that coffee, will you?
I'm going to right now.
All right.
Time to dance.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks,
let's dump some news on you here in just a moment. And at 7:05, we talk a lot about we're not afraid to have the tough conversations here. We've got a tough conversation regarding the pro-life movement right here in St. Louis. And I'm not going to lie, I did not want to do this, but I think we have to, but I'll tell you why. But that conversation is coming your way at 7:05.
Looking round without a clue, I find myself alone again, all alone with you. I can see behind your eyes the things that I don't know. If you hide away from me, how can I some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
News, analysis,
glad you're talking about this.
opinion.
I'm glad you're fired up about it too, because I know I am.
News Talk STL.
What's the key to maximizing the value of your outdoor space? Satisfaction. And getting a fence or deck that exceeds expectations with the highest quality, American-made material. And working with a team that cares about your project as much as you do. And adding safety and security for your family and pets to play, relax, and entertain. At STL Fenceworks, satisfaction is our core value. Doing it right the first time, standing above the competition. At STLFenceworks.com, your satisfaction is our passion.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Bost as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on News Talk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVostSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Bost is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. The 80s. Excellent. Never been a decade like it. Never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
Little Foreigner.
What a great band.
Yes.
You know, kind of a amalgamation of British and American band members, and then fronted by a great vocalist in Lou Graham.
Yeah. I don't know who the current vocalist is. But
I don't know either.
The classic is Lou Graham. Yeah. Great voice. They just had their, 125th year anniversary that Foreigner's been around. Is actually, I think it was the 40th or 45th or something like that.
It does feel like it. Yeah. Exactly. What a great band, though.
Oh, yeah. Great Flashback Friday choice. All right. The shooter is not the only one in jail. Police say his father is also to blame for the Georgia high school shooting. Pro-abortion activists get a favorable ruling from a Missouri judge about Amendment 3. And if the guy at the convention in Illinois has dry, flaky skin or greasy hair, blame Democrats.
Oh, it's their fault.
It's their fault.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Let's dump some news on you here.
Successful dump. Wake up, America. It all worked out.
You know, I mean, they got all the news.
The Morning News Dump.
All right, let's bring you up to date here. A second arrest has been made in connection with that high school shooting in Georgia. Chris Hosey is the director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, and he says the suspected shooter's father, Colin Gray, is also now in custody and facing charges with multiple counts of involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, and cruelty to children.
These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
All right, the 14-year-old suspected shooter, Colt Gray, is going to make his first appearance in court in about 40 to 45 minutes. 4 people were killed, including 2 students and 2 teachers. 9 others were injured. All right, a Cole County judge strikes down the ballot language of Amendment 3 in Missouri, replaces it with language that is friendlier to the pro-abortion effort. We knew this was going to happen, or we suspected this was going to happen. Judge Cotton Walker ruled that the language from Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft's office was unfair, inaccurate, insufficient, and misleading. Those are his words.
Oh, wow.
So here's what voters are going to see on the ballot now instead. This is the actual ballot language.
Okay.
A yes vote establishes a constitutional right to make decisions about reproductive health care, including abortion and contraceptives, with any governmental interference of that right presumed invalid, removes Missouri's ban on abortion, allows regulation of reproductive health care to improve or maintain the health of the patient, requires the government not to discriminate in government programs, funding, and other activities against persons providing or obtaining reproductive health care, and allows abortion to be restricted or banned after fetal viability, except to protect the life or health of the woman. A no vote will continue the statutory prohibition of abortion in Missouri.
So how is that not prejudicial language?
Right. It is.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it is. It absolutely is. And we're going to talk to Steve Rupp from Missouri Right to Life in just a little bit over an hour. There are aspects of this that just aren't true.
Yeah, seriously.
Just simply not true. So I am not surprised at the ruling. This ruling is a big gift to the pro-abortion side, pro-abortion side of the entire discussion. I mean, that's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We just talked about the Hunter Biden thing, so I'm going to skip over that one for the time being here. Let's talk about the Middle East here. And by the way, if you're watching us on Rumble, got some great conversations going. If you're watching us on Facebook, it's a little wild what's being claimed in the comments there. Check it out for yourself there. All right, pressure still been mounting on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a ceasefire and hostage release deal with Hamas. And it's amazing that there's lip service giving to putting pressure on Hamas, but everybody, including the Biden administration, seems to be targeting the Israeli government.
Yeah.
But Netanyahu says Israel's not the one blocking deals. He was on Fox and Friends.
There's a story, a narrative out there that there's a deal out there. In fact, while we agreed in July and in May and July and in August to a deal and to an American proposal, Hamas has consistently said no to every one of them. They don't agree to anything.
And of course, keep in mind, this is on the heels of the IDF finding the bodies of 6 hostages who were murdered, just shot execution style, including 23-year-old Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Poland. And they were found in a tunnel in Rafah, which is where the U.S. was pressuring Israel to not go.
Right.
So stop listening to the Biden administration. Frankly, stop listening to the United States is the advice I would give Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, everybody's wrong here.
Yeah. All right. The state of Illinois is protecting you from little shampoo bottles in hotel rooms.
That's right. I remember this.
Yep,
yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
So the law's gone into effect, and the new law will outlaw hotels from providing those little single-use bottles of, shampoo and conditioner and skin lotion and mouthwash and things like that.
Gosh.
There's actually a name for this law. It's called the Small Plastic Bottle Act.
Small Plastic Bottle Act.
Right.
Someone's got to protect us.
That's right.
And the government is protecting us with small plastic bottles.
Here's how it's going to work. For hotels that have 50 rooms or more, as of July of next year, they are not allowed to leave those in your hotel room and have those out as complimentary things.
Okay.
So apparently you can go down to the desk and ask for them or buy them, but they can't just put them in as a standard practice.
Okay. So the small plastic bottles are still allowed in the building, just not in the rooms?
Just not allowed to give them to you in the rooms as a complimentary thing.
But meanwhile, a lot of the hotels have gone to the larger dispenser bottles.
Right.
That are on the wall.
There was a trend of that, but then they were getting broken, and so they started getting away from it.
They realized how much of a maintenance nightmare they are.
So smaller hotels have until 2026 to wean themselves off of the small bottles.
This is so stupid.
Now, these are also the same little bottles that you can buy in the travel size thing at the grocery store or whatever.
Yeah, the drugstore.
But it's just kind of our accepted little thing that you get the hotel room and they leave a little thing of soap and they leave. I mean, that's just and basic hygiene stuff.
And you take them.
Yeah, and I do.
Yes.
I mean, I do because it's easy travel stuff.
Yes.
So that is what the Illinois legislature and J.B. Pritzker spent some time on, protecting you from the soap bottles.
Okay. So yeah.
Right.
Okay. So travel to Illinois to get your abortion, but no tiny bottle of lotion for you.
Right. Precisely.
That's great.
Oh man. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Let's just get real about what's going on with the Cardinals here. Cardinals start a series at home with the Seattle Mariners tonight. Obviously they're Busch Stadium. First pitch is at 7:15, but we got to get real. 22 games left to go in the regular season. Cardinals are 71-69. Cardinals are in third place. Cardinals are 10 games behind the Brewers in the National League Central Division. So are they mathematically eliminated from the playoffs?
Technically, no.
However, it basically means there would have to be a baseball miracle for them to make it to the postseason. So basically, the Cubs and the Brewers would have to forget how to play baseball over the next 3 weeks for the Cardinals to have a chance to get into the playoffs.
Quick trade from the St. Mary's School for the Blind.
That's right. Yeah.
You throw them in there, and then that's the only means by which the Cardinals are getting anywhere.
Yeah, I don't even see them really in the playoff, the wild card picture as well at this point. Too many other teams just have much better records on this. So the season has not been. They may very well finish over 500, but this has been a disappointing season for the Cardinals. I would not be surprised if there's some house cleaning in the front office.
Boy, a lot of fans are hoping that
so
happens.
Too. All right, let's have a really tough conversation here at 7:05.
This is what's happening.
What we saw today at Arlington was a commander-in-chief who cared.
Joe Biden is not present because the failure of Afghanistan is his, and it is shared by Kamala Harris.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Kirkwood Popco. Family owned and popping up smiles in the heart of Kirkwood. From party favors to teacher gifts, Kirkwood Popco has you covered. Tins, bags, even popcorn bars. They've got it all. Find them at 108 North Kirkwood Road and kirkwoodpopco.com.
Calling all patriots. Join us for an unforgettable evening celebrating America's greatness at the Patriots Banquet. Honor our veterans, support our first responders, and meet Hollywood tough guy Marshall Teague, the infamous Jimmy Reno from Roadhouse. September 7th at 333 Vineyard in Washington, Missouri. Tickets include dinner and open bar. Upgrade to VIP for exclusive cocktails with Marshall. All proceeds support the Washington Guard's emergency response efforts. Reserve your spot now at thewashingtonguard.com.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Myella Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. First the son, now the father has been arrested on charges stemming from the deadly Winder, Georgia school shooting. Georgia Bureau of Investigation Director Chris Hosey.
With District Attorney Brad Smith, the GBI has arrested Colin Gray, age 54, in connection to the shooting here at Appalachia High School. Colin is Colt Gray's father.
Charges against the elder Gray include second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. He's accused of knowingly allowing his son to possess a weapon. The son, Colt Gray, is charged as an adult with 4 counts of murder and is due to make his initial court appearance today. Former President Trump unveils the specifics of a multi-tiered plan aimed at jump-starting the economy should he win back the White House.
Former President Donald Trump promised the Economic Club of New York he would lead what he called a national economic renaissance by increasing tariffs, slashing regulations to boost energy production, cutting government spending, and lowering corporate taxes for companies that produce in the U.S.
The fifth pillar of my plan is to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. They are massive tax cuts, biggest ever, permanent, and to cut taxes even more.
Democrat Kamala Harris's campaign issued a memo accusing Trump of wanting to hurt the middle class, arguing his ideas would expand the national debt and shrink economic growth and job creation. I'm Norman Hall.
Mr. Trump has pleaded not guilty to revised federal charges in the 2020 election interference case. Israeli forces appear to have withdrawn from several West Bank refugee camps after a more than week-long military operation. Israelis say the aim was to root out terrorists operating from those refugee camps. Watching Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 140 points. NASDAQ futures off 183 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-483-3030. 800-483-3030. 800-483-3030.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We dropped to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Jewels on Hampton, paying some of the highest prices for your gold, silver, diamonds, and more. Call 314-752-5000 or visit jewelsonhampton.com.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Not all policies will qualify. Not available in all states.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved.
I'm just living sky high right now. So I'm very thankful for it. And the team at DebtBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. Mike Ferguson.
You play ball like a girl.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
I triple dog dare you.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice, drain the swamp, and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the Morning on News Talk STL.
Get up, this is your cousin.
All right, one of maybe the most effective pro-life organization in the region is in the spotlight, but it's not. This time, it's not because of the lives that they have saved and they are saving. It's for accusations against the leader. So let's sort through that. We've talked to Gabe and Stell. We've talked over the years, saying we're not afraid of tough conversations here.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean we like them, but we're not afraid of them here. So we're going to have to go through that. If you haven't seen the article in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, a lot of accusations against Thrive's executive director, Bridget Van Means, who's been on this show many, many times. By the way, News Talk STL, we are number one for live and local conservative talk 7 days a week. Don't forget the Randy Tobler Show, tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So 24 hours from right now. A lot of news happening this week. And Randy's got just great insight and just some really interesting stuff there as well. So be sure to check that out. Joined now in the studio by Pastor Mike Bond from Liberty Church in O'Fallon. And Pastor, appreciate you being in here. So let me just kind of set the stage. If people have not seen the St. Louis Post-Dispatch article, it goes from basically accusations internally against Bridget Van Means of Thrive, the executive director, essentially accusing her of being, I guess, a toxic boss, for lack of a better term. Your church is one of those that had a relationship, and at the very least, you paused it. You're quoted in the article as well. And one of the things I want to make really clear is that Thrive has saved lives. They've been incredibly effective as a pregnancy resource center. I absolutely hate that this is happening right now. Like, I think the first words I said to you on the phone yesterday was, I'm so sorry that we're meeting like this, or something along those lines. We have this set of accusations out there now. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch is absolutely hostile to the pro-life movement. So if we're going to have the conversation, let's at least have it among family, is how I'm looking at this.
Yep.
So when you look at, for instance, your church's support of Thrive over however long that's been, you all have at least hit the pause button, if not the stop button on that. What led to that decision as far as what you were asked about in that article?
Yeah, that's a good question. One, thanks for having me on the show. And it's sad that we're at this point of having to have a conversation about it. But let me say at the forefront, like, the work that Thrive has done has just been absolutely outstanding. So the frontline workers, there's some amazing people out there, and the Lord has used Thrive, used the workers to literally save babies' lives. And there's, babies and children walking around today because of the work that Thrive has done. So, and that's why we've stood with them and supported them. We've been supporting Thrive through various means: baby bottle fundraisers, diaper drives, clothing drives, going to the banquet, individuals giving their own money, our church giving money for decades. And so we were with Thrive before Thrive was known as Thrive, when it was just meeting in a small little place with a small little budget, And so God has done some amazing things through Thrive, and we are thankful. We're thankful for that work. What brought us to that place is one, there's a member at my church who came to me, was an employee at Thrive for 12 years, and not just any employee. She was the regional manager of medical centers. So she was a key employee at Thrive, and came and shared with my co-pastor and me concerns and things that she had observed at Thrive. She wrote a letter that she wanted to send to Thrive, asked as we got involved if we would be willing to, when we sent a letter to Thrive, if we would attach her letter with ours, which we were more than willing to do. But Mike, when you read these letters, and I've read them, they're heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, it's really tough.
And so, and I think the word that you use is accurate. So outside the four walls, what Thrive is doing, amazing work. I think the challenge is once you get inside the four walls, there's been a failure of leadership. And so that's why we're talking here today.
Yeah. Now I want to make it really clear. There are no accusations of any illegal behavior.
Correct.
There are no accusations. There's nothing sexual involved. There's nothing like that scandal. There's not even any accusations of anything financial unethical things. I mean, there are some questions, as far as like, well, maybe the budget should have been this or that. That's all just business talk right there. So I want to make it very clear. None of that is alleged in any of this.
That's correct.
And again, honestly, in a perfect world, this is not something that we're talking about on the radio.
True.
And I have reached out, and Bridget has an invitation to be on and talk about this from her perspective. I have no idea whether she's going to do that or not. Either way, it's not going to stop my admiration for what Thrive does. I want to make that very clear. So I know, Gabe, because you and I have obviously similar perspectives with our life stories on this.
Yeah, being preacher's kids, and I personally support Thrive a lot. I think they are the second biggest recipient of my donations, beyond my church. So I'm very interested in what's going on here. Now, speaking of Bridget, though, has any conversation actually been happening with Bridget directly about any of this stuff?
So the challenge is that a number of churches have reached out. They've had either members at their own church talk to their pastors, and the concerns were of a serious enough nature that each of those pastors reached out to the board. I know Grace Church, Pastor West they have been trying to meet with Bridget and bring these things to her attention and try to work towards some type of resolution. And the board has what the board has done is either they've not responded or they've responded by having Thrive's attorney send cease and desist letters to churches.
Yeah. I also think it's only fair that we're talking in generalities. And that's one of the problems that I have with some of the way these accusations have happened. There have been people and organizations that put out on, the internet and whatnot and saying, well, we're accusing her of unethical leadership and all that kind of stuff, but nobody was giving specifics. And if we're going to have those kind of accusations, because the story looks bad, what are the things that the church said this rises to? We need to talk to you, even though we're not like on the board, but we're contributors, we're partners on this. I mean, what are the behaviors, the specifics that are being alleged? Because it's one thing to put just generalities and categories, but what are the actual things that people say this is more than just an internal disagreement?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and it is hard because, some people that have come forward have been, they've wanted to remain anonymous. I mean, we have current Thrive employees that are very confident, and some of these have tried to go to Bridget or go to the board and have been rebuffed, or what has happened often is they end up fired. And so some of the letters that we have sent to the board, a lot of them have been anonymous because those people know as soon as their name comes out, they're out of a job. And so when we talk about like the specifics, I mean, what you're seeing is just a culture inside the four walls where the employees are treated at a level that none of us would consider acceptable. And so the reason I'm hesitant to share some of those stories is just because of I totally understand the biblical nature of making sure allegations and biblical witnesses and different things, which is why churches have tried to reach out and say, hey, let's have an independent third-party investigation look into this. Let's have someone come in and interview employees in a safe context. Thrive has said, well, really, those people are supposed to go to Bridget. Well, when there's allegations of like abuse, and we're talking verbal abuse in this situation, that's really not the appropriate nature. You wouldn't do that to any abuse victim. Say, hey, let's get your alleged abuser into the room and let's hash this thing out. No, you'd really bring in a third party to try to moderate that thing. That's what these we churches have asked to be done. We'd be willing to be involved in any process like that. I think, unfortunately, at this point, we might be past that. But what you're seeing is that the way Bridget is interacting with employees, the focus is very much on her, and that she is wanting to control narratives. It's Bridget's way. It's just a strong-handed, heavy leadership that involves gaslighting, manipulation, and following the path of whatever Bridget says.
So to me, the big goal is restoration of everybody, so that especially in the year where we're dealing with threats to our pro-life laws and everything like that, is how do we get to a point where Thrive is in the spot it should be, leading the Pregnancy Resource Center? Because yes, they're very outspoken about the Amendment 3 and the politics, but really what they focus on, what they're so good at, is taking care of moms in terrible situation, dads who are involved, children. They do such a wonderful job. How do we get from where we are right now back to where things are restored and it's healthy and we're running on all cylinders and Thrive is able to do what they do best?
I'm not sure with the current leadership that's possible. I wish it was. Thrive is hemorrhaging donors left and right, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe potentially as much as $1 million. But the thing is, those donors, they're just like my church. They're just like other churches. They've paused the support. They're longing to come back, but they want to see change. And you have, I still haven't received a response from Thrive's board. from the letter I sent almost 2 months ago. Since then, I've forwarded anonymous letters from current and former employees. I haven't had responses to that. So you have a board that the silence is deafening on their end, and it doesn't look like they want to change. What we do receive is we receive letters from attorneys, from their attorney, that are half truths at sometimes, quoting scripture at other times, and not really interested in saying that Thrive and the leadership and Bridget have done nothing wrong. They've looked into the situation and everything's okay. And that simply is not the case.
Now, a number of members have left the board. Is that correct? Have you heard
two
from
of them?
Have you heard from them?
I mean, back in the day, if you went to a banquet and they would have the board stand up, and they had a pretty large board.
Mhm.
My knowledge is that the board now is down to 3 members.
Oh, wow.
And so the letters that I've been forwarding is to those 3 members, appealing to them. They've been, gracious, straightforward letters asking the board to do something.
All right, Pastor Mike Bond from Liberty Church. Tough conversation. I appreciate you coming in and being willing to have it. And I'm trying to ask tough and fair questions. Once again, I've talked to some folks over at Thrive. I've talked to people on both sides of the divide. This is obviously something that is appealing to those who want to watch it in the media, read about it, because the Post-Dispatch did the article. But honestly, this shouldn't be in the media. This should be something that is sorted out individually. Person to person, heart to heart, but we're past that point. We went past that point when the Post-Dispatch published the article. So I wanted to make sure that everybody, has the opportunity to contribute to fixing the issue itself.
Right. It's a public conversation now.
It is, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So let's do it the best way. Normally, people want to learn more about your church or you. I mean, we might as well put the invitation out there if they got, looking for someplace to go on Sunday and they're in the O'Fallon area.
Sure. Yeah, we'd love to have them at our church. They're more than welcome at Liberty Church. I just want to say, the churches that have paused their support, a good source tells me a lot of partners and churches will come back when the leadership changes. And I think that the trajectory can change. I think that where Thrive is headed, I think a new direction is needed. I think new leadership is needed.
Yeah, because it's become such a huge operation with a massive impact for good in the area.
And this is a crucial time too.
Crucial
in
time.
America,
And let's be fair, it grew into that under Bridget's leadership. And the accusations, again, are saying that to continue that or go on, then that's what I'm hearing you say is the change needs to happen. I don't think anybody questions the success that Thrive has had, but where do we go from here?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, what Bridget has helped Thrive accomplish, hats off to her. She's done an amazing job. If Bridget is listening, I would tell her that. I would say, thank you. You've done a great job outside the 4 walls. I would say, too, I believe it's time to hand the baton off.
All right. Got some thoughts on this? Let me know. 314-912-1019. We've got a lot of conversation happening on some of the social media platforms as well, which is what we do here. I mean, this is what we can do. All right, Pastor Mon, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Mike.
Don't try to make me stop. Inspiration. You have a soul so dark, it is no more.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com.
Right now, I have had enough of this. Turn my eyes to your indifference.
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning. The Vic Borselli Show.
So the general election will still be under the auspices of Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. We'll ask him about the upcoming election Friday at 9:41.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Never paint again. This is Darren, owner of Rhino Shield. Want to eliminate painting your home, business, or church? Call the experts at Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield is a revolutionary ceramic wall coating to regular paint and vinyl. Perfect for aluminum, steel, unpainted brick, block, stucco, ephes, drive it, cement board, and wood sidings. Rhino Shield eliminates wasting time and money painting year after year. Our ceramic coating deflects 90% of the sun's UV rays and 100% of the moisture. Our clients want affordable protection with the elimination of maintenance. Rhino Shield protects your biggest investment while maintaining your architectural features and gives you the curb appeal you deserve. Make your home great again by working with the Rhino Shield experts. A+ rated with the BBB. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Missouri Wild Alchemy is a local and family-owned business dedicated to providing consumers with high-quality cannabis and education. They strive to make customers feel comfortable and to help curtail the stigma of cannabis use by having a professional and well-educated staff. They're proud to carry products from several Missouri cultivators and manufacturers. Missouri Wild Alchemy, now serving recreational customers 21 and above, as well as patients. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram, or visit MissouriWild.com. That's MissouriWild.com.
Tony Colombo here, reminding you to visit my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton before your next trip into the great outdoors. For decades, Bluff City Outdoors has covered all the needs for area fishermen, and they'll always have all the best bait, tackle, and gear for your next trip on the water. And now they cover all your bow hunting needs, including their state-of-the-art indoor archery range and techno hunt system, open every day for you to come shoot, or you can join a league. Follow Bluff City Outdoors on Facebook and learn more at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
When it comes to spending your tax dollars and teaching your kids, governments and school districts should be an open book. But in Missouri, that's not always the case. Recently, the Show Me Institute sent out a sunshine law request to school districts across the state, asking for information on whether certain topics are being taught. Specifically, a controversial one called critical race theory was included in the list. Many districts didn't respond. Some wanted to charge large fees to process the documents. Lee's Summit outside Kansas City wanted over $35,000. A rural district, Morgan County, wanted $15,000. The Sunshine Law does allow charging a reasonable fee for sending out information, but there's nothing reasonable about $35,000 or $15,000. These districts should want to be transparent about their curriculums. Taxpayers deserve to know what their kids are being taught. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk. Live and local.
I need to know what's going on in my city.
News Talk STL. The 80s. Bueller.
The 80s.
Let's go while we're young.
Never been a decade like it.
Shall we play a game?
Never will be.
Where are the beats?
It's Flashback Friday.
You lifted me up. Never let me
Nice
down.
mellow flashback Friday today.
It seems as though it's gone that way so far.
Well, Fleetwood Mac here.
Yeah, Christine McVie.
Yeah.
What a great vocalist, songwriter, keyboard player.
Yeah.
She-
Writer.
Yeah, writer. That's right. And the funny part of her career, because she passed away recently.
Was it about a year ago?
I
It was
think
about a
so.
year ago, yeah.
And she was in her late 70s. Her career started with a band called Chicken Shack.
Careful how you say that.
Back in the late 60s. And then I think it was around maybe 71, 72, somewhere in there was when she joined Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history.
Right. Yeah. Just some phenomenal music. Boy, I tell you, the deep 80s cuts on this one. This, of course, I love Fleetwood Mac. This is a great choice. Whoever said that in. Thank you very much. All right. I need a breather after that, guys.
Yes, please.
Okay. A lot of really fair questions coming up. Debate from both sides of it regarding what's happening with Thrive. And I cannot tell you how much I woke up dreading that conversation. Not because, I mean, Pastor Bond seems like a great guy. I've never met him before. That wasn't it. But this should not be something that's being fought out in the media, but it's already out there. And I told Pastor Bond, I said, I'm not trashing Thrive.
Yeah.
Now, if there are problems that need to be addressed and dealt with regarding leadership, that's okay. That's fair enough. But once the Post-Dispatch got out there, I'm damn sure not letting the Post-Dispatch lead the conversation on what's happening in the pro-life community, especially with people of faith and especially with Thrive. Post-Dispatch doesn't get to lead that. We'll do it internally. We'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd say do it. And there are people who have said, oh, you're going to have the other side. I've talked to my friends at Thrive. I said, I am offering you that time. I gave them the heads up that this conversation was going to happen because that's the right thing to do.
Yep.
And it's fair. And if Bridget or somebody else from Thrive's leadership wants to be on next week, all ears will do it. If they don't, that's their choice as well. I'm not gonna go after Thrive if they say no. If they say yes, then I want that part of the conversation.
But it certainly would be nice if things like this could be dealt with internally. So so we're not having our family fight out in public. That's what it feels like every time this kind of stuff happens.
It should be. And then there were organizations that pushed it out on the internet stuff, and I'm frustrated with them. All right, I need a breather after all that.
Yes, please.
All right. By the way, police in Georgia now have the school shooter's father in jail. Should he be held responsible for the evil that his son committed? I've got the details, and let's debate that at 7:36, just to just let you know here. And here I found this. I found this article at where was it? It was on Reddit. Here we go, Reddit to the rescue. We've got busy lives, man. The world is busy. I mean, you and I, Gabe, yesterday off air, we're just talking about, man, I'd really like to do I would like to go back and do more writing.
Right.
I'd like to do more video content and things like that. I just don't have the time. You've said the same thing. Just, would love to do that. But somebody asked on Reddit, they said, what is it that would be worth spending 15 minutes on every day, no matter what, even at the expense of something else that you should do for 15 minutes, no matter what?
Workout.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a nap.
Honestly, I think both of those are great answers.
Yeah, actually,
to be really honest,
and maybe work out and then take a nap.
Work out and then take. No, they've actually done studies about the whole power nap idea. Like in the middle of the day, if you get like a 15-20 minute nap or something like that, your productivity goes up in the afternoon. They've there's certain companies out there, mostly in like Europe and stuff like that, that did those kind of things, and it was actually beneficial. So I can see that.
Right. And exercising and working out, I tell you, I am more productive when I have, like during the baseball season, I'm playing 3 or 4 times a week. I generally don't do a weightlifting workout program because I'm doing so much baseball. But for instance, my season's going to come to an end here in another week or two, one way or the other. We're in the playoff session, so I'm going back to my work. I am more productive everywhere else when I take time to shut off everything else and work out.
Ooh. Lunettes on Rumble has a great one. 15 minutes of prayer.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, according to Reddit, prayer did not make it into the top 10, but meditation did.
Well, it's Reddit.
Yeah, it's Reddit. Right, exactly. So here are some interesting ones here.
Wait a minute, you're saying they're not a bastion of Christian theology?
Yeah, exactly. The number one answer.
Okay.
Decluttering your space and cleaning up just around you, keeping everything neat and tidy.
Yes,
I totally agree.
Yes,
you will feel and operate more effectively if you keep a clean workspace. And both of you guys shut up about my desk right now. Okay,
well, I'm actually thinking about my entire house right now.
Yeah, you're renovating.
It's a disaster. On so many levels.
That's a remodeling thing, though.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. I walk in at home and I'm just like, oh my gosh, every time.
Number 2, I thought I would not have thought of this, but it makes perfect sense. 15 minutes of stretching.
Okay, yeah, just limbering up.
Yep. I think that makes a lot of sense.
That's another one of those things where workplaces have done those things. I think in Japan in particular, they had those, okay, we're going to take a 15-minute thing. Everybody stand up. You do these stretch. They had led stretching sort of sessions, almost not quite Tai Chi or anything, but just a full on limbering up instead of just sitting there at your desk for 40 hours straight.
Yeah. DMCCB says 15 minutes of devotionals.
Yes.
By the way, there are some fantastic apps out there.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Where you can get like anywhere from a 1 to a 5 minute, whatever daily thing and subscribe. You can find those. Here's another good one. Personal hygiene. Now, jokes aside, we're not talking about, put some deodorant on or something like that. Taking time to pamper and basically care for yourself does wonders for self-esteem was one of the quotes.
Interesting.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I can kind of see that for certain people. I imagine the ladies would benefit more from that than the guys would.
Well, because they've got their skincare routines and all that sort of thing. But
doing their nails and stuff.
right.
Like my wife finds doing her nails therapeutic.
Yeah, my wife has this long like skincare thing that she does, and I think it's that sort of thing it goes a long way. I can see that. 15 minutes of just reading, which would be outside of work, not your work reading,
like reading for pleasure or education.
Yep. And I love this one, number 9 on the list, connecting with a friend.
Oh,
in other words, just say, who have I not talked to in a while, or who do I want to talk to, and just send them a text or give them a call and just connect with them.
I'll play Call of Duty with my friends for 15 minutes.
There you go.
That's connection.
Here's another one. Call your mom.
Oh, that absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Good stuff on there. So find that on Reddit if you want to talk about that. All right. Should the dad of the shooter be held responsible in addition to holding the shooter responsible? Let's talk about that around 7:34 here.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We dropped to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
I want you to know that McGuire Moving and Storage is silver certified, which means McGuire has a quality reputation helping older adults move local or long distance. And something else to know, Josh McGuire, president of McGuire Moving and Storage, is the only certified moving consultant in Missouri. I'll tell you, once you met Josh, you're going to know your move will be easy. And I fully endorse McGuire Moving and Storage. McGuireMoving.com.
Larry Connor's commentary, brought to you by Vincent Jewelers, locally owned for almost 45 years. Vincent Jewelers, the official jeweler of Larry Connor's USA. Check for daily specials at vincentjewelers.com. This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
77-year-old historian Alan Lichtman, also known as Nostradamus, says he knows who's going to win the presidential election, Harris. And he bases that on several keys that he's identified. Now, I'm going to question some of these keys. Let's go through some of them. One, she has a party mandate. She's the only party candidate for the Democrats. What are you talking about? Two, no primary contest. Well, that's true. Never was a contest. No third party. Yeah, that's right. Once RFK went out, no third party. Short-term economy looks good. No, it does not. Long-term economy looks good. No, again, what are you getting? Where are you getting that information? No social unrest. Really? Are you ignoring the anti-Semitic riots on our campuses? No scandal. This administration has been plagued by scandal. No foreign or military failure. Are you absolutely forgetting Afghanistan? And Harris is ankled to Biden on that and everything else. Well, there's a bright thing for Harris here. Russian President Putin now expressing his support, saying, we like Harris, we like her. And I'm thinking, good, you can have her. We'll keep Trump.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
My sponsor, Wellington Environmental, has helped thousands deal with hazardous materials. Hospitals, offices, schools, even homes. Here's something new. Wellington now offers dustless blasting. This is just like sandblasting, but without all the dust and emissions. Wellington uses everything from ground glass, walnuts, corn, even dry ice pellets. One university had Wellington remove their parking lot striping because dustless blasting is fast and it does not damage the concrete. So as a business or homeowner, I'm sure you could use this process. industrial tanks, swimming pools, graffiti on buildings. And in fact, Wellington is blasting a Texaco station that will be revised as an historic building. Check the website for details and photos. WellingtonSTL.com. WellingtonSTL.com.
Tim Jones here. I want to tell you about an awesome business located in my hometown of Eureka, Missouri that we use all the time for our exterior homestead needs. Eureka Contracting and Roofing. Veteran owned. They will come to you and schedule a one-on-one consultation. They know that replacing your roof or anything on the exterior of your home is always a really big deal, which is why they've always got a no pressure, no obligation inspection and evaluation. Fully licensed and insured. Nothing but the highest quality of materials made right here in the USA. 636-938-ROOF. 636-938-ROOF. EurekaContracting.com. That's EurekaContracting.com.
The St. Louis County Police Department is hiring, and we want you. Join our team of new and experienced officers. We're fast-tracking the process with a mass testing event Saturday, September 7th at 9 a.m. Head to the St. Louis County and Municipal Police Academy in Wellston. Be ready for a physical, written, and personality test. Bring your driver's license, water, and a snack. This is your chance to make a difference. For questions, call Officer Micah Shelton, 314-615-7824, or visit stlouiscountymo.gov/careers.
Free speech is alive and well in America.
Thanks for taking my call.
Right here.
We know what's going on.
Have a great awakening.
You see through the smoke screen.
It's cool to be woke. News Talk STL. Until it's not. News, analysis, opinion. The 80s. Excellent. Never been a decade like it. Never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
I love this song.
Oh, this is a great song. Great singer, Paul Curtman.
Yep.
He's been with so many bands over the years.
Yeah.
And I will mention them right after this. Most folks probably remember him from Mike and the Mechanics.
That's right, yeah.
But going back even further, he was with Ace. People may remember the song How Long from Ace, and he was with Squeeze. With Mike and the Mechanics, he shared vocals, and a lot of listeners think that it was either Paul Young or Paul Carrick on a song, and it's kind of hard to tell. You actually have to look up the credits to figure out who sang on, let's say, Silent Running.
Oh, that's a great song.
Or any of the other stuff from Mike and the Mechanics.
I'm just saying, if somebody requested Silent Running for a Flashback Friday in the future, I would not be mad at you.
No, definitely not.
Because once again, I don't know which songs are going to play until they play. I hear them for the first time, like when you do, because Stell puts them in. So thank you. Great choices. Great choices on that. All right. Right now is happening. The Colt Gray, the 14-year-old who killed 4 people. I mean, I'm supposed to say allegedly, whatever, because he hasn't been convicted, but we know he didn't. He is in court right now in Winder, Georgia. He's making his first appearance in the courtroom right now. Authorities have already announced they are going to move. They are going to try him as an adult. Now, it's going to be up to a judge to allow that to happen or not, but the first appearance is literally happening as we speak right now. Now, here's what's interesting is now the shooter's father, Colin Gray, has also been charged. Here's what police are saying. They're saying that after Colt Gray got on the radar of law enforcement and apparently school officials, because they said that he was reported to have made threats and expressing a desire to do specifically a school shooting. So they investigated him. They showed up at the door. They talked to the dad. They talked to the kid. And they said, well, we did not have enough legal grounds to make an arrest on this case.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in May of 2023. And so the case was closed. They're saying that the gun that was used to murder 4 people was purchased this past December in the holiday season, that the father bought the semi-auto and gave it to his son as a gift.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm seeing some reports that say, well, the dad said, well, he didn't have access to it, but he's also acknowledging and has told law enforcement, according to court documents, and Colt Gray has just been ushered out of the courtroom. So his appearance is done now. They're lawyers. So, but he did say that he bought that for him as a gift and gave it to his son.
So stupid.
Okay, so it's not the gun's fault that 4 people are dead. It is
Obviously
certainly Colt Gray's fault that 4 people are dead and 9 are wounded.
Mhm.
And the police are now saying it's also the dad's fault because he went and bought and gave a gun to a kid who had expressed a desire to commit these crimes.
It's a crime to facilitate terrorism. It is. I mean, and if it isn't, it should be. You know what I mean? And that's basically what we're talking about. Whatever goals this kid was going after, his dad was at the very least aware that there was something wrong with his son.
Right. Yeah, and you're talking 14 years old.
Yeah.
Listen, I had guns when I was 14.
Sure.
I've talked about living out in Camp Point, Illinois. My high school years, we would go out after church. I'm not going to recount the whole story, but we'd go out and look for a crabapple tree out in the middle of nowhere in the sticks and target shoot. But I've never expressed an interest or had the thought cross my mind that I wanted to do something like what's happening here. So in this particular case, to say, well, there's nothing wrong with the dad giving a kid a rifle, I agree 99.99999% of the time. But if you've got a kid who has shown a proclivity, or you've got enough people to say, hey, wait a minute, he's made these threats. Maybe wait a little bit longer. Maybe make sure that whatever issues needs to be addressed is addressed, because the dad now faces serious, and they are throwing the frickin' book at the dad. It looks to me like they are charging him with everything they possibly can.
Yes.
And if that turns out to be true, then I think they should, because he contributed to the deaths. I don't think that takes away the personal responsibility of the shooter, but I think there's some personal responsibility on the dad's part here.
Well, frankly, I mean, they're probably trying to make a somewhat of an example of him, too. I would imagine, just because you need to be able to understand as a parent that you have a level of responsibility here too.
Yeah, I mean, Jay Monty just made a really interesting point there. He said, I remember when I was going to school, 16 to 18-year-old kids coming to school in hunting gear during deer season, guns in the trucks, hanging on a rack. Jay Monty, totally the same thing. Camp Point Central High School, Camp Point, Illinois. Back in the 80s, you would be in the parking lot, and there were some bunch of my classmates who, had some pickup trucks. I mean, it was a farm community. There were gun racks with rifles literally in the cabs of the trucks, especially during generally deer season, but there was also a pheasant season. And boy, I tell you, when it was time to go get coyotes, and coyotes, let me translate that for those of us who now live in the urban and suburban community, coyotes. But if you're in the farm community, it's coyotes.
It's coyote.
And those things are menaces and pests. And you would go into the parking lot, and it was not unusual to see a rifle, and nobody thought anything of it.
Oh yeah,
in the high school.
Obviously, the culture is different.
Very, very different.
And I think that's what the problem is, because you can't necessarily address culture in the way that it needs to be addressed through government action.
Right.
And so the thing is, the feeling of, well, we have to do something.
Right.
We have to create legislation. We have to pass laws. It's not going to affect these harder issues, these harder questions about culture.
But it also goes to the point of who's the front line with these kids, the parents.
Yes, that's true. They're
and
the number
so
one.
The grown-ups around this kid failed this kid. And I can say that and still say the kid is responsible for what he did. Both of those things can be true at the same time. I don't think they should let this kid off the hook for anything because of what he chose to do. And if it turns out they can show that he did make threats or did make statements that he was thinking about or wanted to do it going back over a year, because we're looking at almost a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Over this amount of time, then he is 100% responsible for his role in this, but the father also at that same time must be held responsible as well. That is consistent with us talking about the sovereignty of the family, parental rights,
and parental responsibilities,
and parental responsibilities as well. All right, 314-912-1019. This is 94.1, 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. By the way, the conversation on the Rumble chat box in particular right now, I haven't looked at Facebook in a few minutes, but Rumble, especially with the situation in Thrive, really, really full blossoming discussion from a variety of perspectives on this, including somebody who works at Thrive right now.
Very interesting. Also, Stel, Lunch Lady wants to know why you're not on camera.
I'll fix it at the break.
She's like, where's my Stel?
Yeah, wait a minute. Where is the camera?
It
was right there.
Yeah,
it was
sitting there for Mike.
There it is. There it is. I mean, let's be honest. Stel's the hot one.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, it's that Greek thing.
The ladies like the tall guys.
That's right.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL. Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding two-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Capriotti's, St. Louis's newest and best sandwich shop. Capriotti's menu doesn't stop. You won't have one favorite, you'll have many. For me, the lineup includes the hand-pulled homemade turkey, the Italian, the chicken parmesan, and the list goes on. Even the fries at Capriotti's are next level. Check them out and let me know how your list of favorites is shaping up. Capriotti's Sandwich Shop is open from 9 to 9, 7 days a week at the corner of Manchester and McKnight in Rock Hill. Get more details, including how to impress at your next event with their great catering at Capriotti's.com.
Loyalty means a lot at Ackerman Toyota. That's why during COVID, Ackerman refused to charge over sticker price, while others did. Ackerman stayed true to their customers, selling at or below manufacturer-suggested prices. Ackerman will get you what you want, and the service department has the same spirit. You come first. And thank you for making Ackerman Toyota number one in 2023. Ackerman Toyota, AckermanToyota.com. Ackerman Toyota for life.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. The 80s. Bueller.
The 80s.
Let's go while we're young. Never been a decade like it.
Shall we play a game?
Never will be.
Where are the beats?
It's Flashback Friday.
Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? Singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons auf ihrem Weg zum Horizont. Denkst du vielleicht grad an mich? Singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99.
It's all Greek to me.
This is
no, wait a minute.
German.
It's German. It's all English to me.
It's kind of funny. 99 left balloons.
Yes. Somehow this became a massive hit.
Well,
in
and then
America
they did an English version, which translates to red balloons.
Yeah.
I like the German one, even though I don't really understand any of it.
Luftballon.
And by really, I don't mean I understand any of it, other than I know Luft now means red or something like that.
Well, actually, it's just air.
Oh, air. That's all it means?
Like the Luftwaffe is the Air Force.
Okay.
Is the German Air
Now
Force.
you're just freaking showing off.
well, you got to think of German as they just piecemeal all their words.
Yeah.
So like the German U-boats was a a submarine.
Right.
They call it, the U stands for Unterwasserboot. So underwater boat.
Okay, see, I figured you meant under. Well, yeah. So
Unterwasser.
Basically, if we all went on a 3-hour cruise and got, you're the professor.
I'm building radios out of coconuts.
That's right.
Okay,
that's what's happening.
All right.
here.
Yeah. Okay.
By
I'll
the
just
way,
provide the music for you.
that's right. So here's the thing is I'm looking at the debate that's happening on the chat for Rumble. And by the way, while y'all are there, because I mean, there's a level of sophistication with this conversation going on. People challenging each other, not attacking. I mean, this is really, really well done. Thank you all for being a part of that. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on Facebook as well. Do definitely hit the thumbs up like thing while you're there. I do appreciate that. So I'll exploit it for that. But like I said, these are conversations regarding what's happening at Thrive. Yes, I want to remind everybody that I spoke with the folks at Thrive yesterday. Be out of fairness and what I think are ethics, let them know the conversation is going to happen. And I told them, I said, you guys know the stories out there.
Right.
So I refuse to let the Post-Dispatch be the place where this discussion happens.
That is the wrong venue.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's not because I want it. It's because that's not the healthy place to do it.
Yeah.
So
they're the
Thrive,
bad guys.
whether Thrive, decides to have Bridget or anybody else on is completely up to them, but the offer is out there. All right. Real quick here. It is so just after 7:50 on a Friday. You know what that means?
It's the weird, the wacky, and the worrisome. These are the stories that make you say something.
Make you say something.
Yeah.
They make you say this.
There we go.
Look on the devil.
Oh, hell no. This can't be happening, man. This ain't happening.
Devil.
Just only way to be sure.
Not today, Satan. Not today. Amen.
It's that time of the year, guys. Temperatures are cooling off. The leaves are starting to turn, and thousands of baby rattlesnakes will start slithering out of a Colorado mega den.
No, God, please, no.
You had me until that last part.
It's boots and sweater weather, and also, snakes. I've never even heard of a mega den before, but apparently the cave full of prairie rattlesnakes can be viewed on a 24/7 live stream run by Project Rattlecam.
I just thought it was a bunch of Cub Scouts together.
Cub Scouts, yeah.
Mega Den.
Yes, exactly. Project Rattlecam is a joint venture by Cal Poly, Dixon College, and Central Coast Snake Services. So baby rattlesnakes are actually born live, which is weird, and helpless. So pregnant mama snakes gather to provide mutual defense for their wiggly little offspring.
See, here's the thing is I don't want to see that, but I'm going to look it up and see that.
Exactly.
I'm going to do
that. Yeah, it's the bad smell in the fridge.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's bad. Hey, come smell this. Yeah. And our second story is it's a local one, actually, where officials in Wildwood discovered a house with 137 cats.
I saw this. That special.
Photos shared by concerned family members showed the house in disarray, with dozens of cats weaving underfoot, standing on stacked crates, and peering around doorways. Carolyn Hayden said her mother, father, and another family member lived in the 8,000 square foot home. Wow.
Yeah.
On the 18,000 block of Country Trails Court. She and the rest of the family had been concerned about their parents for some time, but hadn't seen them in years. So Animal Protective Association of Missouri is making an urgent appeal for help as they work to care for and rehome all the kitties.
That's where we got Rosie.
Oh, the APA.
The APA,
yes.
Yeah, and can you imagine, listen, I love the critters here, but can you imagine the ammonia smell
Oh
that
my
was in that
gosh.
house with 137?
Oh my.
Yeah, see, it was a hoarding house. I
Yeah.
mean, that's really
Yeah.
what this place was. I saw some of the pictures.
Ugh.
8,000 square feet of trash and cat piss.
Oh,
That's where
Oh my goodness!
That's
You know
basically what we're talking about.
where we used to live in South City. An elderly lady lived across the street from us in one of the classic old homes in Compton Heights, and she had, I believe, 27 cats in her house. I don't know how you handle it.
How do you handle 27? I mean, now granted, her house was probably not 8,000 square feet, but still, 27 cats in a just any space.
Oh no,
it's just that's a problem.
I mean, if I forget to scoop out or change Rosie's litter box after a few days, I get the hey, get on that.
Yeah,
and that's one cat.
Yeah, at one point we had 3 cats in our house.
Yeah,
and that was too much. That was too much.
Yep.
We got like a 2,000 square foot house or something like that, and we had multiple. We had 3 litter box on every floor, including the basement, and it wasn't enough to keep up.
No,
I'm changing.
How many was it? 137.
137 cats.
Wow.
Yeah.
The house across the street from us was 3 stories. So there were plenty of places for the cats to hide.
Oh, geez.
Now, what's funny is, when they describe this, the cat's running underfoot and looking around, and it's like, oh, that actually sounds kind of cute. Except I imagine the smell. And it's just,
that ammonia. It's an ammonia type smell that
takes you right out. Now, a French museum announced members of the public are being invited to view its exhibit on naturism while wearing nothing but a pair of shoes.
Naturism, as in you don't wear any clothes.
What?
In the wide world of sports is going on here?
So, Marseille Museum of European and Mediterranean Civilizations, or MUSEM, said nude patrons are being welcome to peruse the Naturist Paradises exhibit in the nude on designated dates once a month during a time the facility would normally be closed.
Okay, so I've got a thought here on this. Okay,
you got thoughts?
Here's the thing: everything depends on who shows up.
Hey, from what I understand, it's never the people you want.
It's not. It's you. You may get your image in your head and you're like, oh, hey, let's go check. Then no.
Less Baywatch and more Third Bay at the back of Walmart.
Yeah.
The nude museum visits are being organized in partnership with the French Naturist Federation, or the FFN. Naturist Paradises features hundreds of pieces of art from naturist communities, including paintings, sculptures, photographs, and films.
So you have a card-carrying membership of something. But where do you put it?
Yeah.
You don't have any pocket to put your wallet in.
Look, when I go to a museum, I'm there to see the exhibits, not the exhibitionists. So you know what I'm saying.
I call the devil.
Oh, hell no. This can't be happening, man. This ain't happening.
Devil.
Just the only way to be sure.
Not today, Satan. Not today. Amen.
Party City of St. Louis is excited to invite you to our Get Out the Vote picnic, Sunday, September 8th at noon. Have free barbecue, beer, and be part of a fun group photo with the folks working hard for the future of Missouri and the city of St. Louis. Let's show up, chow down, and get out the vote, St. Louis. Head to stlcitygop.com for details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC, Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Oh, Adam, you are so romantic. And I love the kitchen you found with all these great crumbs.
Yeah, baby. Only the finest crumbs in the kitchen for my favorite aunt. Oh, no. It's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the mood.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. We'd love to help you out. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
The tides are changing.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
The Democratic Party doesn't stand with what I stand for.
News Talk STL. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The August employment report is just in, expected to play a big role in the Fed's upcoming decision on interest rates. The government says America's employers added 142,000 jobs last month, up from 114,000 in July, but fewer jobs than economists were expecting. The unemployment rate falls to 4.2% from 4.3% the month before. Unveiling specifics of his economic revival plan, former President Trump also proposes creation of a government efficiency commission to be chaired by none other than Elon Musk.
The commission is the latest alliance between Trump and Musk, who has become an increasingly vocal supporter of the former president's bid for re-election. The Republican presidential nominee said back in 2022, fraud and improper payments alone cost taxpayers an estimated hundreds of billions of dollars. He says the new commission would recommend what he calls drastic reforms and develop a plan to eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months, something Trump says would save trillions of dollars. Bob Agnew reporting.
A second arrest in the deadly Winder, Georgia school shooting. Georgia Bureau of Investigation Director Chris Hosey says 54-year-old Colin Gray is the father of teen suspect Colt Gray.
He is charged with the following: 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children.
Accused of knowingly allowing his son to possess a weapon. A surprise guilty plea from Hunter Biden in his federal tax evasion case. Correspondent Alex Villegas says any political fallout from this is not as crucial now.
The potential political ramifications of this case have faded somewhat since President Biden decided to no longer run for re-election.
On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures are up 24 points. NASDAQ futures down 24 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Ely Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-483-3030. 800-483-3030. 800-483-3030.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We dropped to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
Are you tired of hard chlorinated water drying your skin out, tasting bad, and ruining your fixtures? Jones Air and Water Treatment has a solution to this pollution. Our Hydratech H2O leaves you with great tasting soft water at all fixtures in your home with one unit. Call Jones Air and Water at 636-899-1040 or visit us on the web at joneswater.com. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Jones Air and Water, 636-899-1040 or joneswater.com on the web. Call us now.
Does your life insurance plan include living benefits, hearing, diabetic supplies, teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones? Larry Connors here. I suggest you call Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial. Call 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Wherever I'm at, home, car, wherever.
Download the News Talk STL app.
If you have a phone, you have a radio. Just the convenience on the phone.
Streaming live on the mobile app.
Love the News Talk STL app.
And listen anytime.
Everywhere.
Anywhere. Mike Ferguson.
We the people.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
It's not rocket science. Rocket science.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up,
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
All right, the pro-abortion Amendment 3 campaign gets some help from a judge. I kind of thought this was going to happen, guys. We mentioned this the other day. We're going to talk about that. But just a quick note here. So much conversation still happening regarding the situation with Thrive. Okay. We are going to post that discussion that we had with Pastor Mike Bond on our podcast. We'll get that out this morning. So if you haven't already subscribed to our podcast, just look up News Talk STL anywhere you get your podcast, and you can do that. You can also find it at newstalkstl.com a little bit later this morning, whenever that is, we're able to get that up. So much discussion, debate happening. I'm looking at the Rumble chat box. I don't know about the other platforms because Gabe and Stell watch those. But there's a lot of people who've taken a big interest in this because Thrive is such a large part of the pro-life movement here. There are so many different organizations that have different lanes, and Thrive, obviously, was the Pregnancy Resource Center, has one. And what I want to, make it really, really clear is that the work that they do works.
Yes.
Thousands of lives are saved. We've got young women in terrible situations who are being supported, young men being taught how to be a dad. There's so much that's going on that Thrive does. And so the conflict over the leadership there should have never made it to the media, but it's there. And I am not allowing the Post-Dispatch to set the narrative on this.
Yeah.
This should have been handled within the pro-life and to some degree the Christian community as well. But here we are. So that podcast is going to be up this morning, so you can check it out for yourself and take that conversation where you think it needs to be taken. We're just going to offer that to you. All right. It is 8:07 right now. Joined now by Steve Rupp from Missouri Right to Life. And Steve, I can't say I'm shocked that the judge struck down the language of Amendment 3. But when you look at what was replaced, it's without question friendlier to the pro Amendment 3 side of this. But we can go through this line by line because there are some things on there that are stated as fact that you've pointed out just not true. I mean, what's your overall reaction to the judge's ruling?
Well, this is what's called a fair ballot language, and this does not affect what you're going to see in the voting booth. But when you walk into the polling place, there should be a poster there to explain complex issues that you're going to be voting on, and this amendment is certainly complex. It's really simple, but it's been made complex to try to confuse people. So the fair ballot language that Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft wrote said, so that before people walked into that ballot booth, they could look at this poster, and here's what they would say. It says a yes vote will enshrine the right to abortion at any time of a pregnancy in the Missouri Constitution. Additionally, it will prohibit any regulation of abortion, including regulations designed to protect women undergoing abortions, and prohibit any civil or criminal recourse against anyone who performs an abortion and hurts or kills the pregnant woman. That is called fair ballot language that he wrote, which is absolutely true. There isn't a word in there that is anything but true. Yet Judge Cotton Walker from Cole County, the circuit judge from Cole County, wrote that this language was unfair, insufficient, inaccurate, and misleading. So today, telling the truth is inaccurate and misleading.
Good morning, Steve.
So he rewrote the language.
Sorry, Steve.
So he rewrote the language, and his language says a yes vote establishes a constitutional right to make decisions about reproductive health care. Well, what is reproductive health care? Why don't we talk about plain language? You're trying to tell people what they're going to be voting on here in a couple of moments, and what they're going to be voting on is killing an innocent human being by a violent method. And he says reproductive health care. So you talk about misleading, that is misleading.
Absolutely, Steve. And in addition to the whole reproductive healthcare euphemism, which it's always been kind of the cloak of darkness that the pro-abortionists have used. They also include birth control in there for some reason, and I don't know why that's in there, considering the language of the amendment kind of only is tertiary at best, addressing quote unquote birth control, unless you're thinking that abortion itself is a form of birth control.
Well, what they're trying to do there, Mike, is they're trying to confuse the issue. Here's the actual language that is the full language of the Amendment 3 says that the bill. Let me read this for you. The government shall not deny or infringe upon a person's fundamental right to reproductive freedom, which is the right to make and carry out decisions about all matters relating to reproductive health care, including but not limited to prenatal care, childbirth, postpartum care, birth control, abortion care, miscarriage care, and respectful birthing conditions. They throw all of those things in there to make it sound like, well, I'm in favor of respectful birthing conditions. Of course I am. But this isn't about respectful birthing. Everybody's for respectful birthing conditions, for crying out loud. This is about abortion. And they put all those other issues in there to hide the killing of an innocent human being. Do you ever see anywhere in this amendment anything about the child? Nothing, not a single word. Yet this entire thing is about killing innocent children in the womb.
We are visiting with Steve Rupp from Missouri Right to Life. Okay, let me ask you about another line of this fair ballot language, so-called fair ballot language that the judge wrote, not the Secretary of State. It goes on to, let me see here. Okay, after the part, it says here, Missouri's ban on abortion. Okay, it goes on. Let me pick it up here. It says it allows regulation of government. It allows regulation of reproductive health care to improve or maintain the health of the patient required. Now, here's the part I want to ask you about, which, by the way, that part right there is you've already pointed out, is incorrect. But get this, requires the government not to discriminate in government programs, funding, and other activities against persons providing or obtaining reproductive health care, and allows abortion to be restricted or banned after fetal viability, except to protect the life or health of a woman. Does that basically say constitutionally you will require taxpayers to fund Planned Parenthood? Yes. Okay.
It's exactly what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the aspects of that particular bit of language there, first of all, it's two parts that are they're right. Not unrelated. For some reason, it's one sentence, or they're not related, but it's one sentence. The idea that they add discrimination. It's like we're preventing the government from discriminating. That's kind of how the language is couched, which is, it sounds good. It necessarily sounds like the government is doing a good thing. Hey, we're preventing discrimination, as opposed to what's actually happening is we're providing an avenue for federally funded abortion
and state funded.
State funded abortion. Yes.
Yep, that's exactly what it says. It says the word funding right out there in the open.
Well, let me ask you about this, because that last line that I just read, this fair ballot language specifically says that abortion can be restricted or banned after fetal viability, other than life and health of the woman. Is that what's actually in the document itself?
Yes, it is. Yes,
so they can restrict it.
Yes, they and that, you talk about a red herring, Mike. Yeah. This is the red herring. They say that and people are going to walk out of there or be in that voting booth thinking, well, this will restrict abortion after viability, which is, by the way, what is viability? Is viability, it's a made up term, by the way. It's not a medical term. It's a made up term to try to, again, confuse the issue. Is it 19 weeks? Is it 20 weeks? Is it 24 weeks? Is it 25 weeks? Because there's no description of that. So what is fetal viability? And then they go on to say, they say in one sentence, they say that it will allow regulation after fetal viability. Then they turn right around to say, except, and as soon as you hear that word except, it should raise the red flags, except to protect the life or health of the woman. The health of the woman is described as virtually anything. Right. And stress. If she's pregnant and she's going to have a baby, she doesn't want that baby, it's because they're going to cause her stress. Legally, this gives her the right to have an abortion literally up to the moment of birth, all 9 months.
Okay.
So it completely wipes out that other garbage about fetal viability.
Yeah, and also apparently it is misleading when they say it allows abortion to be restricted or banned then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's what I was.
Because it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. So we've had a couple people on social media send in questions, Steve. At least two have said, is there the ability to appeal this language decision?
At this point, no.
Okay.
Nope. Really, there's no time. There's no time to be able to appeal that. By the time this goes through the courts, it would be too late because we have early voting on September 24th.
Yeah, so we're coming up real fast. Okay, so then where do we go from here? Because this ruling is a big gift to the pro-abortion side. So this is going to affect the messaging because what's going to happen is somebody's going to say, no, here's what Amendment 3 does. And then all that the activists are going to do is say, no. Look right here. Here, it says right here. That's not, okay. So how do we, this is just another obstacle we have to overcome now. So how do we do it? What's the right way to approach this?
Well, we've got to educate the voters. We've got to educate the voters that this language is terribly misleading. I call it the language of illusion. And we've got to be able to expose that illusion to the voters. And there's all kinds of organizations right now that we're working together with to be able to do just that. Now, we do have one little bit of an ace in the hole. We pray like crazy. There's a hearing today in Jefferson City that there's a lawsuit that was fashioned by the Thomas More Society and a couple of our legislators and another citizen that have challenged the ability to even have this on the ballot, saying that it violates state and constitutional laws because state and constitutional laws say that you can't have an amendment to the Constitution that handles more than one issue. And this is by their own admission, this is handling many issues. Okay. And it also is going to it's against the law to be able to not show what laws are going to be affected by this constitutional amendment. And there are many laws. There's over 60 laws regulating abortion in the state of Missouri. All of those would be wiped out. Does anybody know that? Does a voter know that? The voter doesn't know that. This shouldn't have even been verified by the Secretary of State because it violates those statutes. So there's a hearing today, and it could pull this amendment from the ballot.
All right,
that'd be great.
We'll find out maybe today. But more likely Monday what the ruling's going to be. And it's in Judge Limbaugh's court.
Okay,
so there's some hope there.
Yeah, with Limbaugh, there actually is a little
pray hard,
hope
folks.
on this. All right, so Steve, people want to learn more. I know you've got plenty of resources. How do they get in touch? Because the bottom line is we can't sit this one out. You can't be on the sidelines of this one and just hope for the best. We need people to get involved. Even that just means I'm going to make it a point to talk to my immediate, circle of friends and family. We've got to have everybody off the sidelines on this. How do they access what you have to offer as far as information?
Go to Missouri Rights Life website, MissouriLife.org, and click on the PAC website that has all the information. There's all kinds of brochures. There's access to volunteering. They can go to our on that part of the site. They can go to the volunteer portal and volunteer to be able to get yard signs, to knock on doors, to make phone calls. We've got a very, very, very coordinated ground effort happening all across the state of Missouri.
All right, Steve, thanks so much for being back on and giving us the update. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk to you again soon about this.
Okay, guys. Thank you. God bless you.
Thanks, Steve.
314-912-1019.
They need money to fight this too, by the way.
Yeah, because
they're going to need some advertising. They're going to need some commercials, something.
Yeah. Over $3.5 million is coming from out of state for the pro-abortion side.
Yeah.
And it's been pointed out, at least on some of the social media discussions on the News Talk STL presence. This is only the first one. I mean, you once they come out, you don't think there's something regarding the Second Amendment that's already in the works? It is.
Oh, yeah.
There are other things that the LGBT, this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the spear here. So this one's crucial. Absolutely crucial. All right, let's talk about that. I got some news to dump on you, including Hunter back in court. He's changed his mind. He says, I done it. I'm a victim, but I done it.
So weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'll give that update just ahead here.
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up, this is your cousin.
Hungry for the best steak you'll ever have? Head to the heart of Moscow Mills and discover Harry J's, a local landmark and family-owned steakhouse, serving up excellence since '98. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, Harry J's has something for everyone. Enjoy our extensive bar selection while soaking in our friendly family atmosphere. Whether dine in or carry out, your meal is prepared to perfection. Make the drive to 300 Main Street and treat yourself to a taste of Moscow Mills' finest. Harry J's, more than a steakhouse. We're a tradition.
Getting new flooring can be exciting, or it can be a hassle. To make sure you have a great experience, use Michael's Flooring, like I did. Hi, it's Susie Moore, and Michael's Flooring has become my go-to for quality, variety, and an all-around great experience. They've been locally owned and operated for more than 30 years. Carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, natural stone, luxury vinyl, it doesn't matter. Michael's Flooring is ready to help. 3 locations to pick from: St. Peter's, Darting Prairie, and Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloor.com. That's igotfloor.com.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
SR1 Sundays.
Hey, this is Aaron Dorff from the Missouri Firearms Coalition. Don't miss our new show, Shall Not Be Infringed, this coming and every Sunday as part of SR1 Sundays. Tune in for Stand and Fight with Nick Schroer at 6, Next Gen with Dane Define at 8, and my show, Shall Not Be Infringed, at 9. See you then.
SR1 Sundays.
Sunday night at 6 on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
All the information I need on the drive to work.
Like Ferguson in the morning, I keep it on throughout the day, whether it's local, national, or something big that's happening overseas.
News, analysis, and opinion.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
Hello, fans of the paranormal. I'm Frankie, host of the newest show on News Talk STL on a Garage. And we'll be discussing everything paranormal, from ghosts, demons, hauntings, and aliens to skinwalker, Bigfoot, fairies, and the Chupacabra. Every Saturday night between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., me and Jeremy will discuss mysterious events in St. Louis and surrounding areas, including gateway families and unsolved true crimes. That's right. It's all right here exclusively on News Talk STL from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Saturday night.
If you have a phone, you have a radio. Download the News Talk STL app.
Just a convenience on the phone.
And listen anytime, anywhere. The 80s. Excellent. Never been a decade like it. Never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
Don't ask me what you know is true.
In Excess.
Very good song. Never Tear Us Apart.
Yeah.
What a great song. Michael Hutchinson, I think his name was.
Hutchins.
That's right. Hutchins. Yeah. He had a great voice. Obviously, a lot of problems.
Very charismatic singer.
Yeah. I met In Excess once, but it was with the second singer, not with him.
Okay.
But this was a great song. Man, great choices. And it's kind of funny how there's just kinds to be a vibe and a theme every week on Flashback Friday. Great choice. Whoever was sent that in. Great choice.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Interesting little side note on this song, besides the fact that it's an emotional song.
Yeah.
When he died back in 97, I think it was November of 97, in a hotel room. They found him in a hotel room in Sydney.
Yeah.
They had the funeral a couple days later at St. Andrew's Cathedral in Sydney. And this was the song that they played at the end of the funeral ceremony.
Wow. I did not know that.
So it was a pretty emotional day.
Yeah, imagine so. All right, more emotions also in Winder, Georgia, in response to the school shooting. The shooter isn't the only one in jail. Police say his father is also to blame for that Georgia high school shooting. The father was in court just moments ago. I've got the update for you. And also, if the guy at the convention in Illinois has dry, flaky skin, it is the Democrats' fault.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
They did it.
I'll tell you why. Let's dump some news on you.
The Morning News Dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks. The Morning News Dump.
All right. Moments ago, the father of the accused school shooter in Georgia was led out of a courtroom in Winder, Georgia. The father, his name is Colin Gray, has been arrested and charged with multiple crimes in relation to that school shooting. He was at the desk at the arraignment or at the table there, and he was hunched over, sitting there, hands in his lap, just rocking back and forth, rocking back and forth, rocking back and forth the whole time. And he was led out of the courtroom. That arraignment stopped just moments ago in Winder, Georgia. So we'll have more reports on that throughout the morning, particularly starting with Vic Porcelli's show here in about another 90 minutes or so. Chris Hosey, the director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, says that Colin Gray is now facing charges with multiple counts of involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, and cruelty to children.
These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
And 14-year-old Colt Gray also had his first court appearance a little bit earlier today. Authorities say they are going to try him as an adult, but a judge will make that decision. 2 students and 2 teachers were killed. 9 other people were hurt as well. All right, from Georgia to California, a lot of stuff in the courts here today. Let's see here. In a surprise move, Hunter Biden pled guilty to all 9 counts in his federal tax case in that courtroom in Los Angeles. Of course, that means he avoids a trial, and sentencing has been set for December. His attorney, Abby Lowell, says the president's son made the decision, and I'm quoting here, guys, to protect those he loves from unnecessary hurt and cruel humiliation.
This plea prevents that kind of show trial that would have not provided all the facts or served any real point in justice.
Okay, so Hunter Biden in this particular case faces up to 17 years behind bars, but they also say he plans to appeal, which makes no sense.
The trial is literally the time to bring the entire story to bear. So the concept that, well, we're trying to avoid a trial because it won't give us an opportunity to tell our story, essentially, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's what a trial is.
Yes, absolutely. You're the lawyer. It's your job to make the story.
Right, exactly. Now, remember, this is separate from the Hunter Biden gun case in Delaware. He is a bi-coastal defendant, where in that particular case, Hunter Biden faces up to 25 years in prison. In this case, up to 17 years. He's not going to do a day in prison, guys.
No, not at all.
No,
it's not going to happen.
Period.
I wonder how many states in between he's also committed crimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess somebody should probably go do a survey of the massage parlors and all that sort of thing as well. Just a hunch. I'm saying I got no evidence to say that, just some hunch. All right, pressure still mounting on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a ceasefire and hostage release deal with Hamas, because for some reason the United States is leading the pressure to crack down on Israel still after all of these months.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but Netanyahu says Israel's not the one blocking the deals. He was on Fox and Friends.
There's a story, a narrative out there that there's a deal out there. In fact, while we agreed in July and in May and July and in August to a deal and to an American proposal, Hamas has consistently said no to every one of them. They don't agree to anything.
Now, remember, President Biden, after the deaths of those 6 hostages, including an American or a Israeli American, President Biden says not yet. Netanyahu's not doing enough to secure a deal. By the way, they found those remains of those victims, of those hostages who had been held since October 7th in Rafah, where the United States told Israel, we don't want you to have an incursion into Rafah. So the fact that Israel was pressured into staying out of that area, at least for a while, may have contributed to the fact that Hamas was able to murder them.
Imagine some dude broke into your house, killed your dog, and took one of your kids. And the cops are like, you really need to come to the table and negotiate with these people.
And how dare you not do that?
Yeah.
I mean, think about everybody else here is basically, All right. The state of Illinois is protecting you from little shampoo bottles in hotel rooms, guys.
They're protecting us from them.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Right. Yeah, I know.
I didn't realize how much of a plague they were until Illinois got involved.
They're so dangerous. They're
Seriously.
lurking there in the bathroom as you walk in.
Seriously.
A
salt shampoo.
A new law goes into effect next year that outlaws hotels from providing the little single-use bottles of shampoo and conditioner and skin lotion and mouthwash. I'm trying to think of what other things you'd have in a little bottle, other items like that. Yeah, the
skin lotion,
toothpaste, and
lotion, toothpaste.
Yep. The Small Plastic Bottles Act That's I swear to God. I swear to God, I did not make that up.
This is a real thing.
Yeah, the
SPBA, because everything has an acronym.
Yeah,
the SPBA Act.
Yeah, that some Democrat took the time to write up and work through the process, and JB Pritzker signed. It restricts hotels with 50 rooms or more as of July of 2025. They're not allowed to provide those in the rooms for you. They cannot do it. Smaller hotels have to give up the courtesy to their customers in 2026.
So stupid.
Yeah.
It's all stupid.
How about the irony of Pritzker signing the bill?
Who owns
because
a
of his
bunch of
hotel
hotels, right?
ownership.
So what's he going to do? Say, hey, I'm oppressing myself. No, you're not.
We're going to provide giant plastic bottles.
Right.
Well,
that look just like me.
The funny part is the giant ones are legal.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you put full-size ones in there,
you're
can do
legal.
it. Yeah.
Right. But it's the little courtesy ones that are not
I
legal.
wonder if a new industry will pop up, making them just big enough to escape the law, but not so big that you have to, you're providing 90 ounces.
Which you can do, but then it's more expensive.
Yes, but not as expensive as the other thing.
Precisely. Although
and probably not as expensive as those built-in ones too.
Yeah,
because the
which-
maintenance is horrible.
No, I used to travel a lot. I started seeing those, and they went away within like 6 months.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
They realized it was crap.
Half of them were broken anyway. when I
That's
was
the
in
problem.
rooms.
They
Right.
break, so you have to replace them, and then of course now the hotel staff is filling those things all the time. It's such a hassle. Just buy the little bottles.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Unless you're in Illinois.
I had one
They're
in
evil.
a townhouse I used to live in. The previous resident had put in there, and that thing was a pain in the
A
butt.
little mechanical.
Right.
It's not dispensing.
It didn't work. Yep. All right. Cardinals start a series at home with the Mariners tonight. First pitch at 7:15 at Busch Stadium. Guys, we got to get real here. There are 22 games to go in the season. Cardinals are 71-69. Cardinals are in third place. Cardinals are 10 games behind the Brewers in the division. Playoffs are not happening for the
No,
Cardinals.
it's
It just
not.
is not happening.
Season's basically over.
So if you want to go say, hey, great, thanks to the players, do so. But right now, expect a house cleaning in the front office. I'm saying I don't think the players are the problem. I think the front office is the problem. All right.
At the beginning of the season, we hoped they would be a better than 500 team. Sadly, they're about a 500 team.
Yeah, barely above 500. They still can be an over 500 team, but they're going to have to play really good ball just for that. Been a frustrating season for Cardinals fans. All right, just ahead here. There's a new list on the internet.
Yay, more lists.
More list. What's the best cereal out there?
Oh, nice.
All right.
Okay.
We could live for 1,000 years. If I hurt you, I make wine from your tears. I told you.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All have wings, but some of us don't know why.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We drop to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
Fox News commentary.
Amazon Alexa is caught red-handed favoring Kamala Harris over Donald Trump. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
In theaters now, Reagan returns to office.
We are the greatest country in the world. We have just forgotten.
You can run from a bully for so long, but after a while, you're going to have to stand up to him. I am about to start the biggest war of this century.
You told me you wanted to make a difference in this world.
What would you have me do?
I want you to fight.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Reagan in theaters now. Rated PG-13. May not be suitable for children under 13.
It's unfortunate it takes a viral video to hold big tech accountable for obvious bias, but it happened yet again. A video is circulating documenting an Alexa user asking the device for advice on who to vote for. And perhaps unsurprisingly, the disparity is astounding. When asked about voting for Donald Trump, the device refuses to comment on politics. But when asked the same question about his opponent, Kamala Harris, the device responds by listing Kamala's accolades, most notably that she is a Black woman. After Fox News Digital reached out to the company, they said this disparity was an error that they quickly corrected. Do you notice these errors ever only go one way? Ever heard of a liberal or Democrat getting the shaft from one of these errors? Because I haven't. This is so baked into everything, it takes a user catching it and then posting it and then it going viral for any correction to take place. Word to the wise, taking your electoral guidance from Amazon Alexa is as helpful as getting it from The View. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Calling all patriots. Join us for an unforgettable evening celebrating America's greatness at the Patriots Banquet. Honor our veterans, support our first responders, and meet Hollywood tough guy Marshall Teague, the infamous Jimmy Reno from Roadhouse. September 7th at 333 Vineyard in Washington, Missouri. Tickets include dinner and open bar. Upgrade to VIP for exclusive cocktails with Marshall. All proceeds support the Washington Guard's emergency response efforts. Reserve your spot now at thewashingtonguard.com.
Student loans can be a strain on your family. For a limited time, the Springfield, Missouri Police Department is offering qualifying new officers up to $12,500 to help ease the burden of student loans. If you're driven, honest, and team-oriented, we want to talk to you about joining our next paid police academy. Start serving your community as a leader of it with the Springfield Police Department. Visit gospd.com for more information. That's gospd.com. Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
In the fast-paced world of digital marketing, making connections is a challenge for any business. But what if we told you there's a place where connections aren't just made, they're grown? Meet 2060 Digital, your premier Google partner and top-tier digital agency. We don't just follow trends, we set them. At 2060 Digital, we're not just another agency, we're your strategic partner. We dive deep into your challenges and develop solutions that drive measurable outcomes. Ready to elevate your digital presence with campaigns that connect? Google 2060 Digital today.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Bost as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on News Talk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Bost is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the News Talk STL app.
Love the News Talk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere. The 80s.
Bueller.
The 80s.
Let's go while we're young.
Never been a decade like it.
Shall we play a game?
Never will be.
Where are the beat?
It's Flashback Friday.
It's my prerogative to play this.
That's right. Or whoever requested it.
Yeah.
Man, I always feel like this is a 90s song, but it's just at the tail end of 80s, and this is when the music was changing a little bit.
I remember this in high school, which was in the 80s.
You know, whenever we play Huey Lewis in the News, we always say how much they dominated the 80s. You got to be honest, Bobby Brown was kind of in that category because he seemed to be everywhere in the 80s.
Yes. Yeah, 88 and 89 were his years.
Well, but remember New Edition before that.
New Edition before that.
That's right.
That's true. That's true. New Edition had that R&B thing going in the 80s. Yeah.
And then he ruined Whitney Houston's life.
Yes, he did.
Jerk.
Yeah.
By the way, who does not love a simple cold bowl of cereal? If you don't, I question something about you. Yeah. Okay. So what's the best cereal? I actually just mentioned that, and there are like a lot of these coming in
Just
on,
lit
on
up.
social media here. Okay. Thank you to the internet because we have the list.
Yes.
Let's compare notes here.
Is this the definitive list according to the internet?
Well, according to the internet here.
All right.
By the way, don't forget tomorrow is the Angel of Abbey Gate 80-mile memorial ride and shootout for Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. We had his dad on, Mark Schmitz, late last week talking about this, and we put that up on our podcast as well. So this is happening tomorrow. You can learn more at thefreedom13.org. You still have time to get in on this 80-mile ride, not 80 miles an hour, 80-mile ride.
Please don't do 80 miles an hour.
It's going to be led by the motorcycles, but you do not have to be in a motorcycle or on a motorcycle. You can be in any vehicle you want. They're going to roll out of Gold Star Harley and Festus tomorrow at 9 a.m. Go ahead and register, though. There could very well be a free T-shirt in it for you because you're a News Talk STL listener. Thefreedom13.org to be a part of that. There's going to be music, food, drinks, a paintball competition, paintball shootout. It's going to be a lot of great stuff there. So check that out, thefreedom13.org. All right. So there's I've actually seen this website before, complex.com. They create a list of the 50 best breakfast cereals of all time. By the way, did you know that the concept of cold breakfast cereal was actually invented and introduced in 1863?
Wow. Okay.
The ready-made thing, pour it in,
Yeah,
so
nice.
about 160 years old. Now, if you had to say what's the best breakfast cereal, we're not talking about healthiest. We're talking about the best. Just the overall best for what it is. What jumps to your mind?
Well, I actually do take health into consideration. And Honey Bunches of Oats, to me, was kind of it split the difference between a healthy cereal and the sugary goodness of cereal that I always remember from being a kid. So Honey Bunches of Oats was my go-to for so long.
That's the one that tops my list with maybe Wheaties and Cheerios right behind.
Yeah. Let me see here. Let me go. Oh, Honey Bunches of Barely Biggs agrees with you guys. He said Honey Bunches of Oats. Balloon Train just says not Fiber One.
Slight issue
so
there.
that one, let's see here. Lunch Lady says Cocoa Krispies.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Between Cocoa Krispies and then Fruity Pebbles, basically. Whereas,
I think somebody else said Fruity Pebbles on here.
That's
too.
another one. And that fits into the same category as Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Right?
Cocoa Puffs from Lunch Lady. Honey O's from Blue Train.
Okay.
I remember that one.
Yeah, Honey O's. Now that's kind of I think it's
Is that the honey version of Cheerios?
There's Honey Nut Cheerios, and then there's Honey O's, which is a different brand version of Honey Nut Cheerios.
But he says he blends those with Cheerios. Oh, Blues Nut said Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Let's see here. Oh, come on, Laura. Says Life. Ask Mikey. Come on, you just gave me flashbacks to my grade school years.
Man, when that commercial came out, your life was
my
just
life
not
was miserable on that.
Hey, Mikey.
Yeah. Chocolate Cheerios.
Mikey likes it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's so many new brands of Cheerios, by the way. Because they've dressed up Cheerios to the nth degree now. So there's chocolate and there's strawberry and there's banana nut and there's all kinds of things now.
Grape nuts was listed on here. Let me see here.
How about Frosted Flakes? Because they're great.
I love Frosted Flakes. All right, let me see. By the way, Honey O's made the list at number 20.
Really? Okay.
Let's see here. Cocoa Pebbles was listed number 18. You said Wheaties, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 17. That's been around. Wheaties was introduced in 1921.
Oh my gosh.
Wheaties have been around for over 100 years.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah. Let's see here.
By the way, during the pandemic, boy, it was tough to find Wheaties anywhere.
Really?
I went from store to store to store. So there was some supply chain issue with
yeah, exactly.
Wheaties in particular.
Let's see here. Captain Crunch.
Okay. Yes.
Now this one says Captain Crunch Oops All Berries.
Okay. So that's
number 15.
That's a version. That's a recent version. My sister was a big fan of the Crunch Berries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Captain Crunch, you have to eat Captain Crunch at a certain time. Like there's the break your teeth and then there's the bowl of mush, and in
Yes.
between is when Crunch Berries is the best thing.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so number 14 is Trix, which would
Okay.
be kind of in that similar
In the
vein
fruity
there. Yeah, as I said.
category, yeah. Mhm.
Number 13 is my favorite.
What's that?
Golden Grams.
Golden Grams. I forgot about Golden Grams.
That's my favorite.
They're a very light cereal in comparison to a lot of the other ones. I think.
Do they taste like graham crackers?
No, it's just kind of a honey,
very honey like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's because I've got such a sweet tooth. I could eat like bowl after bowl after bowl of that, which is why I don't buy it anymore, because I would just sit there and eat bowl after bowl after bowl.
And because it's puffed, it's a little different than, let's say, a Cheerios. I think Cheerios,
right?
They're a little more concentrated, I guess, maybe.
Well, the Golden Grams are like the little they're
shaped.
solid.
They
They're
have
little
certain-
squares.
Yeah, they're
the Golden Grams.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of honey grams or something.
You're thinking
like
of
that.
Honey Smacks.
Honey Smacks,
which
oh my gosh,
which is number 12. Golden
Okay.
Grams is 13. Honey Smacks is 12. Cookie Crisp.
I am thinking Honey Smacks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Cookie Crisp is number 11.
Hmm.
Basically, small chocolate chip cookies. That's
Yeah.
all it is. That's not a cereal. It's literally
Yes.
mini cookies
Yes.
like you would get in the vending machine down
Yes.
here at the end of the hallway in this building.
Yes.
But that's all I'm going to say. It's literally taking small cookies and just
putting them in milk. Yes.
Cocoa Puffs at number 10.
Cocoa Puffs. Okay, yeah.
Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds. Number 9.
Yes, yes, that's actually my between the two, the with and
Yeah.
without. I prefer with.
Okay, Lucky Charms at 8.
Mhm.
Frosted Flakes. I think you said Frosted Flakes. That's number 7.
Lucky Charms is cereal with marshmallows in it.
Yes.
That's really what it is.
With
which is
marshmallows that were made in 1942 because they are rock solid.
They are recycled. Yes.
Right.
Recycled marshmallow.
Yeah.
Apple Jacks at number 6. Number 5
Okay.
was Fruit Loops. Who said Fruit Loops?
I think
Yeah,
Gabe did.
I mentioned it in the fruit category along
Yes.
with Pebbles and
The thing is with Fruit Loops, there's a lot of like colored dye in there.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying is you will see the effect of Fruit Loops for the next day or so afterwards. I'm just going to leave it at that.
By the way, they don't taste different.
No, they're all the same.
They're all the same
It's just-
flavor.
yeah.
So the colors do not make flavors.
Yep. Let's see here. Number 4 is Oreo O's, which I've never had. I don't know about that one. I don't know that one.
Basically, it's another cookie cereal.
Oh yeah. Okay. Number 3, Captain Crunch Berries. Number 2, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 1, the best cereal according to them is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, that is a
Yeah.
solid one.
Yeah.
That
You
is
know
a
the thing
solid
is,
one.
you know the mascots of some of these.
Yeah.
Just real quick here. I mean, there was some dark stories,
Oh, no.
backstories on some of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like for instance, Lucky the Leprechaun, you know, from Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Really Lucky the Leprechaun. 6 DUIs.
Really?
2 failed marriages.
Oh, geez.
He's got a problem. He just can't address it. I don't mean to like
Yeah.
buy into the stereotypes, you
Yeah.
know, of the Irish, but Lucky the Leprechaun, 6 DUIs, man.
Well, luckily, Irish isn't working for him.
No,
So-
no,
oh, man,
no.
that
Exactly.
sucks.
It's really sad.
Yeah, poor guy.
Captain Crunch himself was in the January 6th riot.
Oh, no. No. I think I saw he's got the big hat,
Yeah,
right? The guy
there's
with the
some
big hat, of
dark
course.
stuff there.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And I don't
I
know
think
if
he
you
walked off
remember-
with the lectern.
Yeah. the late Jerry Falwell pointed out the Toucan Sam,
Mhm.
you know, that
Yeah,
brightly cut.
Oh, yeah, the birdie.
His beak that clearly promotes the LGBT agenda. I think
It's a rainbow
Yeah,
beak.
that's-
Oh,
that's
it
what
is.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's also fake.
And finally, if you look real close at Count Chocula, you know who the model was for Count Chocula. Look
Yeah.
real close. It's Rudy Giuliani.
Oh,
Just-
geez.
you can't get that out of your head right now.
Oh, now I
I'm
can't
just
unsee
saying.
it.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? Tell me why. I don't need permission, make my own decisions. That's my prerogative. It's my prerogative.
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Do just what feels. It's my prerogative.
Number 1 for live and local
Conservative talk.
Every day, something new.
news, analysis, and opinion.
I stand before you only by the grace of Almighty God.
Kamala Harris hasn't held a press conference since 2023.
She can't really run away from a record because she's directly tied to it.
I will work to pass a federal ban on price gauging on food.
1019 and 94.1.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
All right, school's back in session, and a lot of people have already made their move to the school district they want to be in or the area, but that does not mean that it's time to stop looking around for real estate. This might be a good time to invest. There could be some big changes when it comes to the inventory and what's available and the conditions, and you've got to call my friends Rodney and Jen Wallner if you are even thinking about this. Give them a call today at 314-810-SOLD. And by the way, when I give you that number, 314-810-SOLD, I'm literally giving you their cell phone number. That is going to them, and they would love to talk to you. You know, my mom's going through the process right now of selling her home. She lives over in the Kansas City area, and it just reminds me of how important it is to have somebody not just writing up the paperwork, not just doing a listing, not just doing the stuff where you upload the pictures, but advising you, empowering you, and also fighting for you, because real estate is a complex legal process. Rodney and Jen are licensed in both Illinois and in Missouri. So whichever direction you're looking to move, they are there to empower you, to give you and your family the best dollar for dollar deal. And this might be the time, not just to look for something closer to work or in a different school district or whatever the reason, you know, upsizing, downsizing, whatever that your life needs. But this might also be the time to look for those rental property opportunities, because things are changing in the market. Rodney and Jen understand this. They sell upwards of 15 times more homes than any other real estate professional in St. Louis. And there's a reason. Yes, they work really hard. Yes, they're dedicated, but these are good people who have built a stellar reputation because of their ethics, because of their honesty, because of them just being great people and investing in the St. Louis community. 314-810-SOLD. There is a big difference. Anybody can pull up the listing online. Anybody can do that. But Rodney and Jen will guide you to where you need to be to make that great decision, that best decision for your family. You're selling a home, by the way, call them right now. They'll answer the phone, 314-810-SOLD. You might not even have to list the home. That's how many pre-approved buyers that they have waiting and looking for a property just like yours. So once again, give them a call. Tell them Mike was bragging about him on the radio, 314-810-SOLD.
Craving a taste of Italy? Look no further than Vitale's Deli.
Family owned and locally operated, we're bringing a little bit of the hill to the heart of Glendale. Our friendly staff treats you like family, serving up a delicious variety of sandwiches inspired by authentic Italian flavors. With reasonable prices and something for everyone, Vitale's is your own backyard taste of Italy.
Come see us.
Call 314-966-9912 or visit vitalesdeli.com.
Vitale's Deli, where great food meets a family tradition.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Colombo and Company. The rules for Tuesday's presidential debate have been finalized. We'll preview it on Friday with our guests Gabe Pfeiffer and Ken Williams, plus the weekend forecast from Steve Templeton at 2:45.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL. The 80s. Excellent. Never been a decade like it. Never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
Oh, hello there, weekend. Thanks for showing up.
I'm playing baseball this weekend. What are you guys doing?
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to be in St. Peter's tonight. I'm going to be at the Recplex. My 40 and over team, we've got a play-in game. We got to win this game to get into the playoffs tonight. So that's a big game for that team. It's kind of frustrating, really bad, because two of my teams actually are scheduled to play at the same time. So I just had to make a decision on which one to play. So I'm going to be at the Recplex tonight playing some baseball. Tomorrow, I'm going to be in Fairview Heights tomorrow afternoon playing with one of my other teams. And that is do or die for us. So we got to win to keep going in that one. That's going to be a good game tomorrow afternoon in Fairview Heights. So
you'll have great weather.
Oh yeah, it's going to be perfect, which is great because I'm the catcher. I'm done with this 90-degree stuff. Man. All right, 8:53 right now. Vic Porcelli is going to be here in about 10 minutes. Okay, that cereal conversation. You guys are a blast, man. This is fun.
I love
By
you
the way,
guys.
Goat Lady mentioned honeycomb. You remember
Yes.
honeycomb? Do they still make that?
Yeah, they do.
I loved that.
That's
when I was a
that's
kid.
another one I was thinking
Yeah.
about when we were talking about honey smacks, honeycomb,
Right.
because they're big puffed,
right,
kind
the
of,
puffy,
yeah.
Did those used to be sugar smacks, or was that something different?
The sugar smacks and honey smacks are
they're similar.
Okay.
In my head, they're same category in my head.
Right. Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah.
But what was the thing? What was it? I think it was also Goat Lady who wrote.
Reading the boxes.
Yeah, Goat Lady.
yes,
I miss reading the boxes at breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember, you could have the
I
TV
did.
on at breakfast. You sit down at the table. You get your bottle, your bowl of cereal, and
That's right.
you're hunched over your bowl of cereal, scoop, and you read the box. What else are you gonna do?
Okay, so you grew up the same way I did.
You don't watch TV at breakfast.
No,
What's
no,
wrong
no.
with you?
You get in trouble for that. If your parents weren't around, I could turn the little TV tray around, but
Yeah.
I would put the box right in front of me and literally rest my chin on the table.
Yes, exactly.
There were some puzzles or some mazes or
Yep. Trivia questions or
Yeah.
things like that. Jokes you tell your sister.
Yep.
Now it's by the way, if the TV was on, it was on a morning news show. So you didn't care about it anyway because if the parents were in the room and they were watching it or they're coming in and out. I didn't care for those things, so I was still I was on the box. I was on the back of the box. Now,
unless it was Saturday morning,
which the TV could be on absolutely, and the TV stayed on from 7 a.m. or wherever in the heck I got up till noon. I think was right about when all the cartoons went away.
It was cartoons on the Sunday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
But during the week, if I was up early enough, you remember the old Bozo the Clown?
Oh, yes.
Show on WGN.
Sure. WGN, yeah.
Because the first cable, I remember when they put cable in Decatur.
Yeah.
And WGN was one of those.
Oh,
that was at noon, wasn't it? Weekdays at noon?
I thought it was in the mornings.
Oh, maybe it was in the morning. Earlier than noon?
Right.
That
But
could be.
I remember that,
Yeah.
especially during the summer.
Mm.
Not really so much during the school year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but with this funny with the series, it's amazing, because these things are truly some of the least nutritious things you're ever going to put in
Oh,
your
heck
body.
yeah. No, it's just,
But the memories.
I love them so much.
Isn't it? It's a good trade. The memories. I mean, sure, we have pre-diabetes now, but we have the memories.
Think of those samplers. Remember the samplers? I think Kellogg's had them where you had
the little boxes.
Yes, the small
I
boxes.
love
You had
those.
8 or 10 of them in a packaged container that you would take home, and you would get to choose different ones for each day.
Cereal was among the few things my mom would buy name brands of for our household. So they were an extra treat for us very often. And the Captain Crunch kind of triggered a memory for me because that was my sister Mary, and she was kind of like, because of the ages that were kind of spread out, Mary was basically the oldest kid for this half of the family. There are 8 of us. So basically the first 4 were kind of like a little mini family, and the last 4 are kind of a mini family. Mary's the oldest of the first, and her favorite was Captain Crunch. So you don't touch the cat if it's towards the end of the box. You don't.
Did you have the row of it looked like a library of books, but the cereal boxes on top of the
fridge?
refrigerator? Yep.
Yes,
I still have it that way.
That's where I think cereal goes. There was one time I put cereal in the pantry and it didn't feel right, so I took it out.
It didn't feel right.
It didn't feel right.
There's a balance to the universe.
Yes.
And you messed it up.
I messed it up.
Jeez. All right, Vic Porcelli talking about stuff probably far more important than this.
Now it's on top of the fridge with my vodka.
I'm with you.
Loyalty means a lot at Ackerman Toyota. That's why during COVID, Ackerman refused to charge over sticker price, while others did. Ackerman stayed true to their customers, selling at or below manufacturer suggested prices. Ackerman will get you what you want, and the service department has the same spirit. You come first. And thank you for making Ackerman Toyota #1 in 2023. Ackerman Toyota, AckermanToyota.com. Ackerman Toyota for life.
For over 50 years, Di Gregorio's Italian Market has been serving up a taste of Italy right here in St. Louis. Family owned and operated, nestled in the heart of the hill. From homemade sausage and meatballs to spadini, pizzas, pastas, and sauces, our wide variety of Italian specialties will transport your taste buds straight to Rome. For a truly authentic Italian shopping experience, visit your friends at Di Gregorio's. Shop local, shop DiGregorio's Italian Market, where every bite tells a story.
Hello, this is Eric from Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. If you are looking for a local family-owned jewelry store, come in and meet the Newsteaders Fine Jewelry family, a St. Louis tradition for over 60 years. Let us introduce you to unique and one-of-a-kind pieces. While here, we'd be happy to examine and professionally clean your jewelry at no charge. If it does need some maintenance, we can give you an estimate right then, and all of our repairs are done on site. Visit us at wowdiamonds.com.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The Fed has some more economic data to digest as it debates what to do about interest rates. The August jobs report out this morning.
The Labor Department says employers added 142,000 jobs last month, up from just 114,000 in July. The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.2% from 4.3% in July. Last month's rate had been the highest in nearly 3 years. Collectively, the figures depict a job market slowing under the pressure of high interest rates, but still growing.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Colin Gray, the 54-year-old father of Georgia school shooting suspect Colt Gray, faces charges including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter.
These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.